Done Quick 2022 online, powered by Twitch. My name is Bobby Blackwolf. I am so excited to be here with you for the next run. Strap in. It's going to be for a little bit. Lost Judgment by Froob. This is a Yakuza game. It's in the Yakuza universe, but it's not Yakuza. And remember Yakuza? Remember Yakuza 6? We had some fun about a year ago. There was a baby having so much fun, flying through the air. There's nothing like that. There is a rugby ball in this, but we are going to go ahead and get you to it. Remember, there is a Bosch Rust incentive for that. We're trying to get, we'll tell you more about that in the run, but we did have a language choice, and we're going to be playing it in Japanese, and we're going to tell you why that's actually kind of amazing as we get through. But I do want to just shout out the previous run. That was amazing. Rin donated $66 saying, well done. We didn't explode. Here's my $66 for $66. Well done, Procyon. And with that, let us go check out Lost Judgment. Froob, show us how it's done.
Alright, hello folks, I am Froob, this is Lost Judgment. I have to show you the most important part about this title screen, which is going over to the game settings. You see this really cute cat. That is the best part of this title screen, by far. Before we start the game, despite the cute imagery on screen, I have to give a very small content warning for what's coming up. Lost Judgment deals with some very heavy topics of bullying and also suicide. I've been subject to bullying myself back in my youth, far longer than I have the grey hairs in my beard right now, but that's just as a warning for ahead of time. It's unavoidable in the actual game itself, and you know what my commentary style is like. Differences between simple and easy real quick. Simple is the exact same as easy, but you do auto combos. We don't want to do auto combos, so the combat in the game is actually really cool. So, we are going to get going. We're going to turn on autosave just in case. So, we're going to get going in 3, 2, 1, go. So, as Bobby said just for the run, this is a Ryuga Gotoku Studios game. This is based on the Dragon Engine, which means that everything goes faster. This is the same universe as the Yakuza games, but it is a spin-off. This is the game that came out only 4 months ago, back at the end of September. This is a sequel to the original Judgment, where we star as Takayuki Yagami here. You'll see him right here. He is a lawyer-turned-detective. I'm not going to get too much into his backstory. That's covered in the original Judgment. It's a fantastic game. That's Kaito on our earpiece right now. He's amazing. He's our best bud. He's getting story DLC this year. I'm hoping his speedrun's going to be pretty good as well. But we are going to start the game off here, just in the prologue. We're going to start off with this little case where this guy here called Kosuke, he is supposedly taking money from women and using it for gambling. It's up to nefarious no good. So, I'm going to be not doing it too much, but I'm going to be referring back to the original Judgment speedrun a couple of times. The original Judgment speedrun, as was mentioned in the interview with Fiesel earlier, is 5 hours long, double the length of this game, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One of them is the bit that you're seeing right here, the tailing segment. In the original Judgment speedrun, there are 8 of these segments, making up, and I kid you not, around 30 minutes of the run's total time. None of them are skippable. There's a couple of bits of speed tech in them. You're going to see a bit coming up here with our new Act Casual button. But RGG took on a lot of the constructive criticism about these tailing segments. And in this game, the only tail segment you will see in the story is this one. So, we're just going to go through. We're going to take some pictures. He's meeting up with somebody here. We don't want to retake the picture. I accidentally did that in practice earlier. Some of the cutscenes are skippable. Because it's a Dragon Engine game, 95% of the cutscenes are skippable. Usually the ones in the tail segments aren't. You get more tail segments in the side missions, all of which are absolutely fantastic again. Kosuke's going to walk up there towards that mascot character. That's Camelot, who was introduced in Yakuza Like a Dragon. Amazing game, that. We're going to do a little bit of speed tech, as I said, coming up here. Kosuke's going to walk up to the top, and he's supposed to stand around for a little while. I want to be a little careful here. I'm going to do this a little safer than I usually would. The bar at the top right is his awareness of you. When that reaches 100%, you get an automatic game over. Now, he actually acts differently depending on the percentage that he hits. I was hoping, yeah, that he'd notice me. Good. I don't want to go into yellow just yet because he'll react a little weirdly in the next upcoming bit. But because I've interrupted him, you'll notice when he gets here, he starts running. So it's a nice little way to interrupt his animation. We do something kind of similar in the original Judgment speedrun as well. But one thing that I've mentioned with every RGG speedrun that actually really matters here is the fact that Dragon Engine has a very short sound system. So if I was to jump over that too early, Kosuke would notice me. If you walk into objects or people, it makes a little bit of noise as well. It's kind of like this hidden little system that's never touched upon, where if you make a little bit of noise, the person you're tailing will see you. Now, some people you tail in the Judgment games have good vision. Some, less so. Sometimes Kosuke turns around here, so we do have to be a little careful. Should be good. Yeah, good. Okay, so now we're going to get into the fun part. Now we're going to get into combat. So these, definitely not Yakuza, have a little bit of beef with Yagami for for getting their Anarchy in a bit of trouble during a law case. So I always talk about the different tutorials in the Yakuza games, the RGG games, and Lost Judgment sits firmly at the top because we get to skip them. So this is Lost Judgment's combat. You have two different fighting styles. You start off with Tiger and Crane. You both went down. That's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. You ideally don't want either of them to go down there. If both of them don't go down, usually one of them stays up. You get to hit one of them, as you saw there, and then just take out the other one with the ground attack. But in Lost Judgment's combat, we start with two different styles. There is three. We'll talk about the third one in about 10 minutes' time. We start off with Tiger and Crane. They're the exact same styles from the original Judgment. Now, the original Judgment speedrun is absolutely fascinating because there's a common misconception in the original Judgment that you can only swap your styles when you're in your EX mode, which is using up your heat bar to go into like this high-powered mode where you can do more stuff. Incorrect. You can actually change your styles at the apex of your combos, the exact moment you hit that strong attack. Now, hello, you're supposed to talk about going to the convenience store, my dude. So, Lost Judgment has some of the best combat in the Dragon Engine because that requirement of hitting it at the exact point of the strong combo is gone. You can change styles at any point. This makes it so that Lost Judgment's combat is absolutely amazing. You can actually juggle enemies near infinitely. As a way to counter that, when the enemies are in the air for a certain amount of time, you will stop doing damage to them. There's a lot more to the combat that we're going to get into in about 20 minutes time, because there's also a little more to every single style that we're going to have to play around with a little bit in this run in terms of getting up our attack speed and more damage. But in the original Judgment, most people agreed that Tiger was the most overpowered style by far. Again, knew he was going to turn around here. Most of these are set unless we're at a different wanted level. If we were at a... Oh, look at this photograph, by the way. I should just become a photographer. This is such a good photo. This is the best photo of Kosuke you've ever seen. Pretty good photo. But essentially, Tiger was always considered to be like the most strongest style in the original Judgment. We were all expecting that Tiger would be heavily nerfed between Judgment and Lost Judgment, and somebody came around and said, what if we made Tiger stronger? So, this is the action section. This is brand new to Lost Judgment. I have feelings about these sections. I like them, but they do mess up on me a couple of times because the Dragon Engine loves to be the Dragon Engine sometimes. But essentially what's going to happen is Kosuke's gone into this this area here, and there's obviously a thug at the door who's just like, hey, you can't come in here. So we're going to find a second way around, which is going to introduce us to the parkour sections. The parkour sections are actually really cool. I actually really like them. We have to go around. It's a little bit of a linear pathway. Later on, there's going to be a couple of these. I'll be throwing it over to Bobby during some of these because some of them I have to concentrate in. But for the most part, these are actually really cool. They are servers getting you up there. Thank you for not turning around, Yagami, because you usually do. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to drop down here early, because if we do, we can actually skip a tutorial window that pops up there. Now, importantly to mention here, every single item that's in these sections here are all fixed. That's going to become important in about 20 minutes time. But we're going to jump in here, and we're going to get to when the game is supposed to tutorialize you about Tiger. And again, as I said, Tiger style is rather overpowered. 1 and 2. So one of the nice things that Lost Judgment does over the original Judgment is it starts you off with max combo speed, which makes things so fast, and 2, it starts you with charge attacks on Tiger. Those charge attacks actually going to become vital during a lot of fights later on. Every single one of your fighting styles has multiple different ways to launch enemies into the air. This is going to be very, very important for the juggling I talked about. Judgment's and Lost Judgment's combat style is more akin to that of a fighting game. It's really weird, but the things that you can do... I'll be careful here. If I walk into those boxes, he wakes up and... Don't do this to me. Dragon Engine shenanigans can happen a couple of times where sometimes some confirmation prompts don't want to play nice. Cool. So I pressed X to pick it up, and instead it tried to run with me. That's a good start. That's a very good start. So we're just going to try again and walk through these boxes very carefully. Thank you. Thank you. Now you can run, because in the time that it takes for him to stand up, as you saw before, he doesn't actually notice you. His hitbox disappears for a second, and then we get to go. Once we're outside, we can start sprinting again. We're going to intentionally pick up this Stamina and X here, and then we're going to get to one of only 2 lockpick sections in the game. The original Judgment has way more. In the original Judgment, you also had another way of doing lockpicking, but that got removed in this game, called the Fun Turn Bypass. So, we're going to be running in here, and this is the last little bit of tutorial for your stealth sections, where you can actually choke out enemies if you can stealth up to them. Nice throw. So, this guy doesn't have very much cone of vision, so we can just walk around literally right next to him. There's going to be speed tech in regards to taking out some of these enemies in these stealth sections later on, but we're going to finally reach the tatami room here, and we're going to find that Kosuke is indeed up to no good. He is gambling away. So we're going to have to go and confront him, and as you know in an RGG game, when you go and confront somebody, yeah, that doesn't really end well for the other person, does it? So I'm going to hope that Kosuke goes to the left. If he goes to the right, it's not too bad, but it can be, yeah, slightly problematic, because he can kind of just go too far there, so I just need to readjust. So now we're going to get a tutorial about the EX mode. So your EX mode uses up all the heat bars that you have to be able to go into the stronger mode. Now, in Lost Judgment, this EX mode is severely broken. Very, very broken. So I'm going to line up all the enemies, and I have to, at this point, react to all the enemies and their positions. Preferably, I hit Kosuke with the last hit. That guy over there, Yoshiro, also is going to take multiple hits, so I'm going to stop my charge so that I don't knock him too far away. That was a good fight. Like, with your charge attacks, you have to be very careful about knocking enemies too far away. A lot of, like, the fighting in Lost Judgment is going to be about positioning enemies and making sure that we don't knock them too far away. This is another piece of gameplay that came from Judgment, or from the early Yakuza games, the chase sections. As you can see, we have a health bar at the top left. It's more akin to the older Yakuza games chase styles. These chase bits are going to be very, very important later on. This one's more of a tutorial. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it over to Bobby for a couple of donations.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Froob. We have a $100 donation from Imai Lemming saying, my husband and I discovered Yakuza courtesy of the Rugby Baby incentive from AGDQ 2021. It led us to play Like a Dragon, which is one of the best games I've ever experienced. I can't wait to see this Lost Judgment run and want more GDQ. Ganbate, folks. And we have a $125 donation from Eccentric J saying, do your best, Froob. You got this. Huge thanks to all the runners, staff, chat, and donators for making GDQ so great. You want to know what would make GDQ even better? Is this Gauntlet Boss Rush. We have raised $12,000 out of $100,000. And dearest Twitch chat, I believe in you from the beginning. There is going to be no apology from me. I believe in you, Twitch chat. I believe in you, official GDQ Discord. I see you too in your bingo card. You're welcome. I just gave you 2 squares. I believe in you to help us get this Gauntlet Boss Rush.
Yes, that would be fantastic. I would like to say that GDQ has also given me the go-ahead. The Gauntlet Boss Rush initially was only the boss part of the Gauntlet that's on the main menu when you complete the game. They've said that they will allow me to do Super Amon, one of the hardest bosses that RGG have put out. It's paid DLC. You can absolutely demolish Super Amon, and if you want to see that, suggest getting those donations in. So this is the Genda Law Office. This is where, obviously, when we were a lawyer, we were working for them. Genda is like Yagami's dad again. Go play original Judgment. It's great. So this is Genda Sensei. He's going to mention that they're working on a case right now. A guy called Ihara has been convicted of groping somebody on a train. That's going to become very important later on. One thing that I should also mention that's very important to that. Oh, this is the only time we get to jump out the window, by the way. Original Judgment, you jump out this window. It's the quickest way to get out of the building. It's great. This is Kaito. I'm supposed to be... My community wanted me to wear this shirt because I'm supposed to be like budget Kaito. I'm more like budget Max Payne. It's, you know, I'm sorry. I tried. There's no Kaito shirt. I wish there was. I'd buy it in a second. So... Kosuke's basically gotten himself in trouble, and we're just gonna deal with the trouble he's got himself into. Now, in the original cutscenes of the game, in the prologue, over in Izazaki Jinsho, which is a completely different map that you'll be seeing literally in about 2 minutes' time, there is a body that has been found. And that's going to be very important. Are you alive? Yes, you are. Cheeky. Get the other guy. Okay. That was okay. Little bit of a pain because the guy actually fell behind the lamp. But usually he doesn't do that. Usually the third hit should have hit. I don't actually think it would have killed him, so I would have had to have done another follow-up hit anyway. So I don't actually think I lost too much time to him messing around. But in the court case that, again, the law office is currently taking on, Ihara gets sentenced to 6 months of penal servitude because he was found guilty of groping a lady on a train. Except after his sentence was handed out, Ihara stood up and mentioned about the body found 3 days ago, and that it is the body of somebody called Mikoshiba, somebody who bullied his son. Which is interesting. How did he know about that when the police haven't divulged any information yet? That's going to be the start of our big mystery. So, we're going to go to Ebisu real quick, the second-hand shop. We're going to buy ourselves this Battle Innerwear shirt. The Battle Innerwear shirt increases our attack by 10%. Gear was not in the original Judgment, but has been brought back for Lost Judgment. And we're just going to speak to our boy Kaito here. Kaito has his drone in the front. The drone is important, trust me. And then I'm going to skip the song here that gets us DMCA'd. It's a good song. It's a very good song. So, we're now going to go into Chapter 1 properly, and we're going to head over to Izazaki Jinsho. This is the game's second map. It is a map that is 3 times the size of Kamurocho. It's absolutely massive. It was introduced in the absolutely amazing Yakuza Like a Dragon, and we're going to be running down here. We're going to get into trouble with a couple of the locals. There's going to be a big old fight, and we're going to find a bunch of rowdy ruffians who are attacking a restaurant nearby. So this fight spawn's fine. The next bit here is an area trigger. So I'll talk about area triggers and confirmation triggers. An area trigger is one that you just have to walk in the area. Confirmation is something that you need to accept on, and if you're in the middle of a fight, you can't do that. We have ways of dealing with fight spawns, I'll say it later. This is the third fighting style, Snake style. You'll never see it in the speedrun. It's a good style, but Tiger's better. So, it's a shame. I know I wasn't going to get the both of them, so I decided to take him out there. Remember Matsui here. This is not the last time you'll see Matsui. We'll see Matsui again. Now, because we saved the restaurant owner, we are going to get given our first piece of gear. We're supposed to get tutorialized on gear here. These are the wristbands. They only raise our attack by 3%, but 3% is better than nothing. We're putting those on in a little bit. So here in Jinsho, we're going to go and find our friends Tsukumo and Sugiura. Again, 2 characters that were introduced in the original Judgment. They have set up their own detective agency here in Izazaki Jinsho. They have a big case that they're working on, and they need our help with it. So their big case that they are working on is a case for the local high school. It's something that is added to this map in Lost Judgment that wasn't in Like a Dragon. They have a big case of bullying. That's why there's a picture of cavemen. Tsukumo likens bullies to primitive cavemen. I don't remember. But essentially, we're going to go meet with the school chairman, and we're going to discuss about this bullying issue, the school chairman Okuda. So we're going to go over to Chinatown up here. Now, you'll notice there, one of the most important things is that I just fast-traveled. One of the things that Yakuza Like a Dragon actually implements is the ability to fast travel anywhere. It is absolutely massive for going faster, and it's really, really appreciated in the fact that Jinsho is 3 times the size of Kamurocho. And the nice thing about Lost Judgment, unlike LAD, you have to talk to all of the taxi points to get them unlocked. Lost Judgment has all the taxis unlocked. You don't have to do anything to unlock them. It makes this game go very, very fast. So, we're just going to get a little case of Tony Hawk here. Our friend Sugiura here has accidentally gotten 2 skateboards, and he doesn't know what to do with the second one, so it's ours now. We do get to be a little bit of Tony Hawk. So, whilst I go and skateboard over to this town's version of Ebisu, I'm going to throw it over to Bobby once again for a couple of quick donations.
All right, we have $250 from Barry saying 5 minutes in and I'm already hooked. Awesome commentary so far, Froob. Best of luck on the rest of this run. And we have a $50 donation from Nick O saying, I got a lost judgment here. Anybody here lose a judgment? If you have lost your judgment, please come pick it up at the front desk. It'll be waiting for you. Yeah. And we have a $50 donation from Rumbeard. Are you ready for this, Froob? Are you ready for this? Why did the judge have bad breath? He lost his judgment.
Nice. I was expecting the mint angle. Nice. So Sukumo wants us to pick up a figure for him, and this guy here, this nasty man, he's trying to resell it. So very simple combat for this guy. Light, no charge, charge, and then we're just going to hit him with the EX attack. Sorry, thrifty Yakuza. So one of the things that we talked about with Okuda early on is that 4 years ago, there was a suicide at Seiryo High School. There's also suddenly a missing student teacher who hasn't turned up for a while. Might be linked. We're going to find out later on. So we're going to rest on the couch. Okuda wants us to find out whether there's any more bullying going on at the school. So we're going to go and infiltrate the school as janitors, as handymen. We're going to go and plant some hidden cameras. Don't talk about the legality of planting hidden cameras in a school to the fact that we're a lawyer detective. Don't worry about it. But we have the disguise system right here, so you get to change your disguise. This happens a couple of times during the game, less so in Lost Judgment than OG Judgment. We're going to go into our item menu real quick. We're going to equip the Battle Innerwear, the wristband. We're going to go into our skills and obviously get attack level 1, because as you could probably guess, attack level 1 gives you more attack. Surprising. So we're going to go into Seiryo High School. As I said earlier, this is a brand new part of the map introduced in this game. It's absolutely massive. It's the top left part of the map. And in this next part here, good old buddy Kaito, who doesn't really fit the part, he's going to be the cutscene trigger. So what we want to do is we want to open the door for Kaito and stick relatively close to him on the top part so that we can get past him a little faster. We are forced to walk in this section here. We're just going to go around and place a couple of cameras. With the walking part, there's actually speed tech to this, which you'd be quite surprised about. Any Dragon Engine game, anytime there's double doors, take the double doors by the middle. It will open them faster. Yes, that's slight speed tech. Trust me, it saves you like a second each door. So here's the actual speed tech. Going in first person makes you go up and down stairs faster when you're forced to walk. Watch this. You just slide. Like, think about it. In real life, you don't get, like, out a phone selfie stick and, like, go in third person. Like, you go in first person. You use your eyes. That's how you go fast upstairs in real life. We're just applying real-life logic to stairs in the video game. So we're going to come across here an unfortunate janitor who won't move out of our way. This poor janitor, you can have a couple of options on what to do with him. You can clearly see he's smoking. If you look at him smoking in the background, you can actually just straight up threaten his job, but we're just going to give him 1,000 yen to move because he's clearly on a couple of hard times here. So we've planted all the cameras. We're going to go back and meet up with Kaito. I'm trying to go down the stairs in a good pattern. I am not. Slightly missing the corners here. And then we're going to go with Kaito because up ahead in Class 2-2, we're going to see a little bit of bullying going on. But we're going to get introduced to a character that you're not going to see for a second, a teacher named Yoko Sawa. We're going to be rude to her with the right option because that's going to skip a couple of dialogue options. I know what life lessons this game is teaching, but not good ones so far. We're going to head down the stairs. I'm going to head to the gymnasium. We're going to meet up with Tsukumo and Sugiura, and then we're going to get a little bit of a head start on what we want to do in the school. But as we're checking out all the cameras, we're going to see our first round of bullying. Keep forgetting that's not the skippable part. So we're going to go back to Class 2-2, and we're going to meet another new character. Well, you have to be careful when going down the stairs, by the way, because you can launch yourself like that. You can actually launch yourself into a full roll, and you lose time because of that. So, this is poor Mami Koda. She is being bullied here. Now, the nice thing is you can actually, if I can get my actual positioning right, you can do all of her, like, investigation parts from here. She's supposed to look at us, but because we're so far away, the poor girl just looks up. So, she's the girl in class who's currently being bullied. We'll find out why later on. But we have basically seen the bullying, and we've got some evidence of it now. So we're going to go and see the chairman, who's also going to bring in Yoko Sawa, and we're going to basically get everybody up to speed on what's going on here. So we're going to run up here. Anytime the game asks you to go to the floor up or above, never take the lift. The game will, via the minimap, tell you to go and use the lift. Using the lift has a little bit of an animation for walking in and out of the lift. That's obviously slower than just going up and down the stairs. So we will be using lift at some point. We're going to say that the onlookers are the problem because no one's stepping in and stopping these bullies or saying anything about it. So Yagami really wants to install some speakers in the classroom. So he's going to stay behind, and unfortunately, Tsukumo is going to tell us that one of the cameras has suddenly stopped working on the second floor staircase. This is unfortunately One of the students here in school has noticed it and put a sticker over it, so Yagami's going to have to get out of there fast. So we're going to go through another little bit of an action section here. So Bobby, if you want to reel off a couple of donations, now is again a perfect time.
All right, we have a $25 donation from Dullahan saying, I've been part of the Yakuza speedrunning community for a little while now, and it's by far the best community I ever got involved with. This Gauntlet Boss Rush incentive in Lost Judgment needs to happen. Trust me, you won't regret it. And we have a $5 donation from our guide saying Froob is easily my favorite streamer and a great Yakuza runner and commentator. This money is obviously going to the Boss Rush. And we have a $100 donation from Trafton saying excited to see Froob crush Lost Judgment. And speaking of crushing, y'all are crushing it. We are almost to $15,000 out of the $100,000. We are almost. We've got about $86,000 left to get to that boss rush. It's going to be amazing. Make sure that when you make your donation over at gamesdonequick.com/donate, you select the Gauntlet Boss Rush incentive after you put in your amount and select it. That way it gets counted towards that.
Lost Judgment really is a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? So, this stealth section is unfortunately very RNG. This is where runs usually die quite early on. We need to get to class 2-2, and as we go down to floor 2, there's a couple of security guards in the way, so we're going to have to go back upstairs. We're going to introduce to a mechanic called the smoke ball here. The smoke ball basically, as you'll see, is going to stop anybody from being able to see you or move. This is going to be some of our speed tech for these upcoming sections. This is where it gets RNG. There are a couple of security guards on the roof, including this guy here. They all need to be turned around for you to get past. Unfortunately, I've got a really nasty pattern. That's actually pretty decent timing, at least on that guy. This guy at the end takes forever to turn around, but this is your first big, reset point of the run. We were wondering whether it was on like an internal timer. It's not, it's just random. We're gonna grab intentionally this smoke bomb here. I'm gonna go intentionally here out of his way. We want to throw the coin, not the bomb. Do not run, otherwise he will hear you from that sound system I was saying earlier. When we get to here, I'm a little behind, so I might have to do this out of order. Yep. Throw the smoke bomb at this guy. This allows us to run down the corridor, but we're gonna grab this one really quickly to make it so that we can go faster in a later stealth section. And with this, we've finally made it to class 2-2, so we're going to go and set up those speakers that I said about. Unfortunately, everything is not going to go to plan. So, around here to the desk, and unfortunately, here's our rugby club. I said earlier, we don't have rugby baby, we have a rugby ball. I don't really have much to work with here. But we have a bunch of belligerent bullies here that we are going to take out, and this fight is very important. You're also getting to hear a little bit of Snake's fighting theme here. It's absolutely brilliant. But this fight is very important because it's actually a tutorial fight. There is a very big difference between the original Judgment's combat and this game's combat that I haven't gone into yet. In the original Judgment, there were these things called mortal wounds. When the boss enemy goes into their EX, they will always do a mortal wound attack. That's exactly the same here. But in the original Judgment, it permanently breaks your HP bar if it hits you. The absolute audacity to have a system like that, it's fantastic, and it makes the original Judgment easily the hardest RGG speedrun out there. That system's no longer in this game, but it's been replaced with something way more stronger. So, we're going to go straight into Tiger and hopefully take care of Yakun down to at least half his HP. Take care of as many of these as we can on the way. Should be good. I want to hopefully take care of Iguchi here, because he definitely survives way longer than he should. Not too bad. I'm going to go into my EX now. You'll see Matsui here. You'll recognize him. I need to hit Yakun a little bit here before he goes into the mortal attack. Good. So now every single mortal attack, you can get this counter. It is fantastic. I'm sad that didn't actually connect. That would have been a really cool way to finish that fight. So every single mortal attack can now be countered. It is a very, very strong counter that we can actually make even stronger later on. Essentially, we don't lose our HP bar, but we now get the ability to dodge all of the really nasty attacks and dish out some serious damage. Those mortal attacks are going to be absolutely vital to the boss fights in this run. In the original Judgment, it's exactly the same as the original Judgment, in that every single boss at the middle of their fight, they will go into an invulnerability state. You can't hit them. You can interrupt them out of it by doing a heat move. But with Lost Judgment, the vast majority of any bosses the vast majority of any bosses actually have a whole bunch of like ads with them. So instead of going for the old strats that we did in Judgment, we go for different strats. So we're going to head back to Seiryu High School. We are going to basically just say to everybody that, hey, everything is all good now. And we're going to get a phone call from the Gender Law Office, our friends there, and they're going to ask us to start investigating the disappearance of Mikoshiba. So, we're going to start questioning Mikoshiba with the school chairman. So we're going to learn a little bit more a couple of years ago. That there was a court case a couple of years ago, 4 years ago, from a certain Ihara, about the bullying that happened at school and Ihara's son's unfortunate suicide. The courts found no evidence of bullying. We are going to look at this photograph, and every time I do, it does not make me laugh. This is a very tragic photograph. That is Sawa Sensei back in her school days over at Kurokawa Academy. But you might have noticed very briefly there that there was a hidden photo behind the photo. That's going to become important in a little bit. For now, we get told by Sawa that Mikoshiba was very popular. He was a member of the basketball club. We're noticing that everything is coming back to the basketball club, and as we come in here, here's Mami Koda, who was also a member of the basketball club. Now, if we've done everything correctly to a T up till this point, in the middle of this fight, because here's more bullies, we should be able, then again, we should be able to get attack level 2. We should have exactly 5,000 skill points, which enables us to get to attack level 2, and then we're just going to take care of this fight. So, non-charge, going to EX, that did not go to EX, good double. Leaving Matsui till last is pretty decent because Matsui has a little bit of a higher HP bar than the rest of the bullies, as does the first one we attacked, Sasaki, I believe his name was. That's Akane in the back, she'll be important later on. She will be important later on. So, unfortunately, with our detective duties done, we don't have a way to stay at the school anymore. We don't have a way to be able to say logistically, hey, we have a reason to be here. We're just some lawyer detective who's running around the school in a really nice leather jacket and some jeans. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and find a way in at the school. This is Amasawa. Amasawa here is the girl who put the sticker over the camera and caught us. She knows who we are. So what we're going to do is she's not going to let us go. We're going to look at the billboard here and see that one of the clubs, the Mystery Research Club, needs a club advisor. Guess who leads the Mystery Research Club? Guess who's going to become the club advisor? So we're supposed to wait for Amasawa here, but we're going to just run ahead and just go through again the double doors because we don't have to wait for her. This is going to introduce us to a giant piece of side content called the School Stories. All of these are, you get a couple of clubs, you get 10 different clubs. Some of them are absolutely massive, such as the Robotics Club. You get a couple of smaller clubs like the Gambling Club. Don't ask why this place has a Gambling Club. And the Photography Club. But we're going to get tutorialized on the Dance Club. So, Bobby, if you've got a donation or two quickly for the next 30 seconds, go right ahead.
Yeah, we have a $100 donation from Hypergiver, said had to donate to a game that was one of my all-time favorite series and one of my favorite streamers. I first saw Froob a few GDQs ago and quickly followed him on Twitch. Good luck on the run, and let's get that Boss Gauntlet incentive. And we have a $10 donation from Bunny Braxian saying, longtime watcher, first-time donor from Chile. Really excited for the Lost Judgment run. Probably my game of the year from last year and in my top 3 of the Yakuza series in general. Good luck to the runner. We have about 84,000 left for the Gauntless Boss Rush.
Nice. So, as you can see, we had ourselves a dancing minigame. You're only going to get tutorialized on it here. You literally cannot fail this. It clears you before even the first note comes down. This is only a small sample of the actual storyline you get here. Every single school club has its own storyline, and the dance clubs is absolutely fantastic. It's everything you would expect it to be. So, our main character here is based on a very, very popular Japanese superstar. You may recognize him. He was a member of the boy band SMAP. And the contract to make him do karaoke would probably be a bit too expensive. So, instead, we're going to mix around the rules a little bit and have dancing. And it is absolutely fantastic. The actual dancing minigame itself is really well thought out. They actually have, you can even, change the timing up in the actual main game itself. It's absolutely really well detailed. It's really good. You get a couple of different outfits and actual dance systems. It's really, really cool. So, we're gonna head to the basketball club. the basketball club actually say to us that Mamikoda used to be Mikoshiba's star pupil, and that Mikoshiba used to put a lot of pressure on Mamikoda. We're going to go to the classroom, we're going to have a little bit of a heart-to-heart with Mamikoda, and then Akane is going to come and see us and say that all the bullies want to, you know, reconcile our differences up on the 3rd floor. That doesn't sound too good. So we're going to head up to the 3rd floor, and of course, as you can probably guess, things aren't going to go well. So, we're going to get into a small little fight. They have weapons now? Justified? Like, but the best part about the school stories is, if you've ever seen the meme, "How do you do, fellow kids?" Yagami literally does the line. It's so good. The localization of this game is fantastic. But we're going to do a little bit of a level up here. We're going to go into our skills. I'm going to go to Tiger and get Tiger Hidden Arts 1. Every single style has its own hidden art. So, with Tiger, by doing a charge attack, and later on when we do our EX attacks, we actually gain more damage in Tiger style. I don't know who decided to give Tiger more damage. Good fight. I don't know who decided to give Tiger more damage, but yeah, it's absolutely overpowered. Here's this kid. He has ties, apparently, with the Liu Mang Mafia. I'd just like to remind you that the chairman of the school said there's no bullying in this school, and this kid is trying to stab me with a boxcar. No bullying. Absolutely none. So, as I mentioned earlier, the set piece action bits that we go through, all of the items are actually fixed items. That's important right here. We're going to go a tiny little bit out of our way because we're going to grab ourselves a skill book. This is the Book of the Wounded, which gives us a skill called Verge of Death Wounded Tiger. Now, see our HP bar at the top left. It's currently green. When we're going to low/crit HP, it turns red. In this run, again, as I mentioned earlier in the interview with Fiesel, we don't get any HP upgrades. When we go into low HP, our attack damage increases exponentially. It breaks through the attack barrier. Now, it's not something that turns up too much in a normal any % run, but on the harder difficulties, ooh. Now, in the finale of this game, low HP strats are very much a thing. It makes you go way faster, but then at that point, everything one-shots you. As I said, this speedrun's going to get hard. I love this speedrun. So, a lovely smug senpai here. We're going to be doing a specific combo in the hopes of taking him out. So I'm going to do the 2-hit attack and hopefully hit him again with this, but he moved too far away. So I'll just retaliate with this one. You're on the floor, which is good. I'm going to start with Sakaki. I'm going to move on to Matsui and hopefully he takes care of him. Hopefully Matsukawa, and then hopefully... Nah, he moved too far away. I was hoping he'd be close enough that I could interrupt his EX. It looks like I might be able to anyway. You can actually interrupt every single boss's EX if you can hit them at the right timing when they go through their EX mode. Again, that's going to be something that is going to be slightly important in some fights. Anytime you get hit by a boss's EX mode attack, you will lose about 20 to 30 seconds. It is a massive time loss. So we really, really do not want to get hit by those. Want to look for Sawa Sensei. She's in the teacher room, so we're going to go over here. Which is thankfully just over here. And we're going to once again look at this photograph. This time, we're going to notice the picture at the bottom right. So this kid here used to be a student at the school, and we theorize that that kid is actually Iharu's son. When we go up to go and see the chairman, we're going to get interrupted by a member of the Kanagawa police detective. His name is Watanabe. We'll talk about Watanabe later on. That's going to be chapter 2. The only chapters in the Judgment games are quite long. With regards to the original Judgment, the original Judgment's first chapter is almost an hour long. It's very, very long. It's obscenely long, but it's really good. So, we're going to head outside, and we're going to go and see Tsukumo. We're going to meet up with Sawa. She's going to actually finally have a conversation with us about Mikoshiba. We're going to meet her at a cafe called Plague at 9 p.m. at night. And this is the part, I mentioned it earlier, this is the part where the language choice actually matters. So, as a nice kind of ironic twist of fate, most Yakuza games only have the Japanese dub other than Yakuza Like a Dragon, which has English and Japanese. In Yakuza, and obviously Fist North Star, in Fist North Star and Yakuza Like a Dragon, the fastest language is Japanese. In both the original Judgment and Lost Judgment, English is the faster language, because as you can probably guess, you can't skip this. So we're waiting for all of the dialogue to finish in this part. This part is about 2 to 3 minutes long, gets about 45 seconds longer in Japanese, hence why we don't do runs in Japanese. So it's actually really nice that we actually met Japanese. So because this is a massively, massively long section, Bobby, let's wax lyrical with each other for a good 2-3 minutes. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I feel like this is going well so far.
Yeah. So about the English dub, because I've been playing this in English, it's really weird because I've played through Like a Dragon, and Yagami's voice actor is Nanba from Like a Dragon, just a little bit less drunk.
Yes, that is Greg Chun. Absolutely amazing.
Yes. So, hey, we got $20 here, a $20 donation from Shadow D. Osama. Are you ready for this, Froob? Here we go.
Go for it.
What do you call Yagami if he was a crocodile? An investigator. What do you call it when Yagami moves a radiator? A heat move. What do you call an encyclopedia of Yakuza recovery items? A Staminan Dex. Looking forward to seeing Froob destroy yet another Yakuza game. Put my donation toward the Gauntlet Boss Rush. That Boss Rush, how are we doing on that? We have over $17,000 raised out of the $100,000. Hey, if I got to read more puns to get that $100,000 for that Gauntlet Boss Rush, I will do it, and I will make Froob groan on stream.
I'll sit through them happily. Yeah, the Gauntlet Boss Rush is where you'll see the most vastly different combat in this game, because certain fights actually restrict you to either one style, either Crane, Tiger, or Snake, and some of the fights actually give you either like all of the skills, a few of the skills, or no skills at all. All the fights in the Boss Gauntlet are fantastic to watch. Bobby, if you want to carry on, I need to fix my headset a little bit because I'm actually losing the sound of it.
Uh-oh. We don't want that. All right. So we have a $100 donation from Marcus, who says, been a fan of Froob since his Yakuza Kiwami 2 run. This past year, my dad was diagnosed with colon cancer, and his pre-op for his surgery was yesterday. This is for him and for that Gauntlet Boss Rush. Thank you so much for that, Marcus. All our thoughts are with you and your family on that. Good luck to your dad.
Yes, indeed. Thank you all very much. Thank you very much for the donations. Yeah, let's get another one in. Let's go.
One more in. All right, so we have a $100 donation from Eggplant Wiz saying Froob is amazing with the Yakuza series. His commentary takes already great games and makes them that much more interesting. Here's to seeing him channel his inner dragon and tiger for the boss rush.
Go for one more. This is such a long bit in Japanese.
How about this $50 donation from Penguin Spy saying Froob is the reason I started playing the Yakuza games, so of course I had to donate during Lost Judgment. Good luck on the run, and let's get that boss rush.
Okay, so basically what that whole tutorial about was the Buzz Researcher. It's kind of like a social media, like Twitter, blog, etc. Also on Japanese, you have more actual tutorials to skip through there that I wasn't expecting. So if you saw me flustered for a second there, it's because I really wasn't expecting some of those cutscenes to come up. But we're going to head over here. We're going to find the elusive Arachnid Man, because we can't use certain terms because they might be copyrighted. Here is the elusive Arachnid Man. He's falling off of a building. He's definitely no spider. So what we're going to do is we're going to climb up here, and if I can get the right amount of movement here, I should be able to go straight up. Yes, perfect. Good. So I'm going to keep heading up to the very top. My earphones are breaking again. What's it with me and getting tech issues during my AGDQ runs? So he claims he's here for bird watching. Bird watching. Bird watching. I don't think those belong to you, my dude. So, this guy's actually a pain in the backside because he can knock you down to the ground. So, we are going to hopefully have him go the right direction. Little misstep there, but it's fine. This should... Ah, you, of course you dodged. Please don't knock me to the ground. Thank you. If he knocks me to the ground, that's a pain because I don't have any way to get up off the ground just yet. I'll be getting it in the next fight. But every single one of our detective tools that we'll be picking up, those will give us... We'll have a little bit of a tutorial over all of those. There's one detective tool that I guarantee you, chat, you will all absolutely love. And we'll get into that in the next chapter. the next chapter, or is it chapter 5? It might be chapter 5. I might be wrong on this one. Can't remember. But we're going to head back to Yokohama 99, and we're going to wait out the time until we can go and meet Sawa at Plague. The game introduces you the side cases from that one. Pretty much like the original Judgment, you get introduced to a couple of side cases that are mandatory. So we are going to head to Plague now. 6. I was right. I don't know why I don't trust myself for that menu. It's always that menu that I don't trust myself on. I know it's 6. It's always 6 down. And the one after this chapter is 6 up. I know this. So we're going to head over to Plague. And remember when that kid earlier was sprouting off nonsense about knowing the Lumang Mafia? Huh. Here comes the Lumang Mafia. So, we're going to get a couple of upgrades in this fight as well. As I said, we are going to get that one skill, but we're going to start off with, of course, getting attack level 3. We're then going to go over to our Tiger Star, and we're going to be getting Rising Blow. This is the attack that gets us up off the ground. I'm going to start with getting my damage up. We're going to start on you. We're going to hope that the guy who's on 1 HP will eventually get up and come back over to us. This is a very good start. Oh my goodness, that's a good fight. That's a very good fight. Whilst we were out here fighting the Lumang, Sawa, who was inside, got visited by an unknown female, and unfortunately, she has given her a picture of Mikoshiba whilst he was alive, just before his death. So, I'm going to inspect this photo. This is something that the police don't have, by the way. And after we're done, we're going to meet one of the game's most fascinating characters. This is Jin Kuwana. Jin Kuwana doesn't play nice. Play nice, please. Yeah, we played nice once, thank you. So, Jin Kuwana is the local handyman. He's kind of the opposite of Yagami, as you'll see. Yeah. Jin Kuwana, basically, we're getting into a bit of a fight because he helped us with Lumang, but unfortunately, headbutt. So, I'm going to go into my EX, and I'm going to be very careful with my combo here. I want to get into his EX without knocking him to the ground. Now, I have to get a certain move off quickly. Actually, I interrupted his EX. That's good. That's actually really good. Okay, now it isn't. Shame. I'm actually interrupted his EX the first time, but he still went around and wrapped around and did it again, which is a shame. So as you saw there, that's kind of what I was saying out earlier, in that enemies become invulnerable during their EX moves. We can't actually do anything about it, which is a shame. Now, Kuwana is actually well known here in a Jin show. He actually does odd jobs, kind of like Yagami does, and Tsukumo and Sugiura actually know him. This guy right here, he's the one you find in the original Judgment. He gives you the extracts. Oh boy. So, you'll remember in any previous Yakuza run where we had vending machine drinks like CC Lemon and Mustard Soda? You'll be seeing that again in the final fight. The Warrior's Onslaught extract is exceptionally overpowered. Now, the nice thing is, the game tutorializes us on how to make extracts and is going to give us a free one. All of these you see here, all the ingredients you need to make it. So the ingredients that you need to make extracts in Lost Judgment are way higher than the ingredients you need for the extracts in OG Judgment, but they're all stronger as a result. The extracts in this game are fantastic, but a lot of those items that we just got there, given for free, are very rare. So we do not have the ability to be able to go and get them during this run, which is a bit of a shame. So we're going to head back, we're going to speak to Tsukumo, we're going to basically collate our thoughts. We're going to assume that the photo of Mikoshiba and Lumang are actually related. That's something, again, we'll get into in a little bit. So, Bobby, if you want to read off a donation or two, I think that's actually a pretty good time.
Yeah, we've got a $50 donation from Psychofish saying, throwing in another $50 toward the boss rush and a chance to win that Sega Mega Prize Pack. Can we bribe you with that prize pack? We already have over $17,000 out of $100,000 for that boss rush. But you know what? If you have a $50 minimum donation, there's the Sega Mega Prize Pack. You get some pins and some gacha things, but you also get digital game codes for this game, Lost Judgment. You also can get a digital game code for Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania as well. So $50 minimum donation gets you to that, and put it toward the Gauntlet Boss Rush incentive.
Monkey Ball is also a fantastic game. Fantastic run of that earlier in the week as well. So, unfortunately, Sawa is going to be less than receptive to us. Everybody, thanks to Watanabe from the Kanagawa PD coming, everyone now knows that Mikoshiba has been murdered. So, Samuel Sensei's not going to want to speak to us anymore. We're going to head and find the crime scene. So we're going to head over to the other part of town. And as I said, there's 6 up on the tactics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank you. Again, easy to remember because it should be 6 down and 6 up. But for some reason, the first one I keep getting confused about. Now, let's talk about the rules of the skateboard, because this is a good time to do that. As you can see, there's a fight spawn to the left. When you're on the skateboard, it doesn't stop fights from spawning. But when you're on the skateboard, it stops fights from aggroing onto you. Unless you skateboard into the enemies. It happens a bit more often than I'd like to admit. So we're going to come up to another action section here that I'm definitely not going to get angry about. In fact, Bobby, if you want to reel off a couple more donations, this again is a fantastic time.
Yeah, so this is a very interesting one. We got $5. $5 donation from J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh.
And he said, "Get me pictures of Arachnid Man." Because, of course, he wants that. And also, we have $50 from Max Awesome Sauce that says, "Froob is an amazing streamer and runner. Watching him is simply magic, and he's cheered me up on some of my worst days. Much love to him and everyone watching GDQ. Let's make this the greatest GDQ ever. Donate, donate, donate." Yes, and donate to that Gauntlet Boss Rush. We have crossed the $18,000 barrier, heading towards 100,000. We don't have that much time left. We only have like a couple hours left.
I will warn you all that if the estimate says 3 hours, that's incorrect. It's going to be about 2:35. So we have even less time. Should probably mention that. So we're going to enter into the crime scene. This is, you can see there's clearly an arrow here that was caused by a couple of flares. This is how the firefighters were able to find the body in the first place, and unfortunately, blood. Now, while we're investigating, here comes Watanabe. We're going to show him the picture of Mikashiba that the police don't have, and we're going to have a nice, lovely conversation. So we're going to work together on this. We're going to ask a couple of things, like the time of death. The important thing for the time of death is the time frame indicates that Ihara couldn't have been the murderer. And the other more important thing here is that they don't have the murder weapon. And whilst we're having this lovely conversation with Watanabe, outside, we're being spied on. 3 people are watching us from afar. 2 run off to the right, 1 runs off to the left. Now I will do a proper explanation of our chase sections. So, the chase sections, as you can see, HP gets restored every time we do a correct action. Now, with this chase section onwards, I'm going to refer to every chase section with the term laps. So what's going to happen is every single chase section goes through a certain amount of laps. Basically, there are things that we can do to make it so that every chase section lasts a single lap. If we make, in some of the chase sections, if we make a single mistake, we will actually have to do an extra lap because every single chase section has its own predetermined endpoint. So if we can do well enough by kicking objects, you know, we're good. We're a good soccer player here. I don't know why I use the word soccer in English. We will be able to finish this chase section a lot quicker. So the nice thing about the chase sections is that between every single run, it's always the same. So every single jump over bikes is always triangle. Every single button input is always going to be the same. You do have to be a little careful. You can get caught on the side of that car and the side of the bridge there and get a game over. Not saying that's happened to me in the past, but might be alluding to it. But thankfully, as you'll see here, we're going to get our suspicious man, whose name is Akaiki, down to 1 HP, and he's not going to stop just yet. That's because his first stopping point is around the corner. And there you go. His second one is actually a bit further on, near the start on the bridge. That's the same exact spot where his chase section in the Gauntlet, because there's a chase section for this in the Gauntlet, ends. So his name is Akaiki, and he is here with his friends, just... They're Kurokawa Academy graduates, just here for a nice night out. Don't know why, you know, they're fascinated by, like, bodies or something, and that's why they were checking out the crime scene. More of that later. So, we're going to get into a tutorial for more of our detective devices. So we want to go into our Buzz Researcher. We're going to go search by keyword listing device. We need to go up to the top part of the map. Thankfully, this is the exact same taxi that we used in Like a Dragon, so I remember the taxi list for this one. We're going to go over here, we're going to find Tsukumo, who's trying to help out, but the security here, they feel like he is a bit of a troublemaker. So we're going to flash out Attorney's badge and just say, you know, we're respectable. Trust us. We're going to get another nice little bit of Tony Hawk action here. We don't get to use the skateboard much in this run, but the bits that we do are quite good fun. with the skateboard, there is an entire school story set with the skateboard. You can do tricks and stuff. This skateboarding is actually really cool in this game. It's simple, but it is very, very fun. We're going to go over here. This is the card we want. First person, get the detector out. And the story is going to throw us a whole bunch of money. As I said, a whole bunch of money. And thankfully, we actually start here next to one of the equipment vans here in Warhammer. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump over the pavement so we don't fall off the skateboard. Over to the equipment van. I'm going to have to make sure that I get the right things here because I have messed this up in the past. We want to get ourselves the Battle Box S, which are attack 15%, the Safety Belt, which is attack plus 5%, and the EX Power Booster, which boosts our attack during EX by 20%. You can understand what's going to replace the wristbands now. So, we're going to get a call from Sayori. It's very clear at this point that Ihara's case over in Kamurocho and Seiryu High School over here are connected somehow. So we're going to go and rest up, and we're going to go and join up with the Gender Law Office tomorrow, and we're going to recreate the crime scene that happened with Ihara's groping incident. So we're going to go over to Ikebukuro Station. And we're going to go grab a train, and we're going to go and find all of the cameras. I'm going to plot out the route. So this is, again, probably a pretty good time, Bobby, if you want to throw in about a minute's worth of donations.
All right, we have a $101 from Bohemian that says, my favorite speedrunner playing one of the best games of 2021. I've always enjoyed watching my spouse play the Yakuza games, but it was Froob speedruns that finally convinced me to play Like a Dragon for myself, and I'm so glad I did. It's now one of my all-time favorite games. So glad to see the Judgment Crew getting represented on AGDQ, donating $101 in honor of the #1 hero Ichiban. Cat Jams in the chat for Soma's theme, and let's see that boss gauntlet. And we have a $25 donation from Anonymous that says, hi everyone, Froob is one of my favorite speedrunners and I love Yakuza games, so naturally I have to donate. Good luck to all the speedrunners, and let's get that gauntlet boss rush. And $25 donation from Sonic Kick saying, let's go Froob, giving some support from the Yakuza community and a fellow friend. Go seek the truth faster than everyone. And get this, we have gotten 20% of the way there. We just crossed the $21,000 barrier towards that $100 gauntlet boss rush. Remember to select that incentive when you donate over at gamesdonequick.com/donate.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you all. So, as you can see, we've routed out the path that Ihara took, and as you can probably see, there's a blind spot. There is a bar where the cameras cannot see. That is, would you believe, going to become very important. Surprise. So, we've now helped them out. We're going to go back and see with Sawa Sensei, who is finally going to spill the beans. She's finally going to actually talk to us about what happened. So, Sawa's going to mention that she had an old classmate, Mitsuru Kusamoto, who, back when she was a student at Kurokawa Academy, actually jumped off the roof after being severely bullied and has been in a coma for about 13 years. Now, we've also been told at some point, she's also going to tell us the teacher at the time resigned because of public backlash. The teacher at the time basically said to the kids, don't push it too hard, which, not a good teacher. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave here via the lift. By going down via the sets of stairs, we have to go through 2 doors to get to the outside. So we might as well just use the lift because actually it's actually faster. There's only 2 times when using the lift is faster. This is one of them. The last time will be the last time that we actually visit the school. Now, at one point, Sawa mentioned that Mikushiba was a perfect student and she didn't think he was, like, actually able to be a bully to anyone. She's changed her tune now and is actually telling us that she believes Mikushiba was a bully. And we'll get more into that later. But this is the best detective tool you'll find. This is Ranpo, the detective dog. Ranpo sitting outside of our office. Yes, we get a Shiba Inu. This Shiba Inu was just sat outside of our office. He has been trained to be a detective. He can sniff out crime. We are going to follow Ranpo, and we're going to find a small little case where a poor lady has left her child with an orphanage and has gone off because Yakuza dirty feelings. You know the drill. But with Ranpo, we're going to hunt them down, and we're going to solve the case. Now, there is good news and bad news with Ranpo, I'm afraid. The good news is, and you've probably seen it in the marketing for this game, Ranpo has an EX attack. The bad news is it's really hard to pull off, especially in a speedrun. It's the reason why I unfortunately didn't offer it as a donation incentive. You require two things. You require dog food as an item, and you also require to be under the influence of a certain status ailment. There's two of them that work, or three of them, one of the two. But unfortunately, in the actual run itself, it's really hard to get those status ailments outside of large lads, who you've heard me discuss in previous Yakuza games, or a boss called Akutsu, who you will see very soon. Nice kick. Was not expecting that to hit. Good stuff. Very good stuff. Very, very good stuff. That fight can be a pain because you see those green fences on the left. Sometimes you can have one of the enemies actually walk behind it, and they will take all the time that they want to run all the way back around. And again, the game just shoves money at us, which is fantastic. Rampo is Amasawa's dog. But the law of possession, Rampo's going to stay at our detective agency. Rampo's now ours. That's how this works. Rampo's our dog now. Here's the best part about Rampo. Rampo despawns enemies. Rampo's the best. So Rampo can actually despawn enemies if we need an enemy despawner. We actually have a couple of enemy despawn methods in this game. In the original Judgment, the only thing you could use was your drone. In this game, you can use either the drone or Rampo. It's absolutely fantastic. We're going to go get some information from Tsukumo, but unfortunately, we're going to get attacked by the Liu Mang Mafia. Once again, this chase section is very vitally important. If we do the early parts correctly, we can avoid using one of the kicks later on. So once again, we're going to be a good footballer and hit some kind of insane shots. Like, you think that's impressive? Wait till you see some of the kicks we're going to do later on. This chase section is going to last about a minute or so. So once again, Bobby, you got any donations? Now it's perfect timing.
You want to know who agrees with you about Rampo? It's Kate Draws Comics, who donated $25 saying, shout out to the best detective in Lost Judgment, Rampo the detective dog. I've been holding on to that one the whole run until we met Rampo. We also have a $50 donation from Katamari with a CAT saying, how many detectives does it take to change a light bulb? Just Yagami, but he needs to find the buzzword keyword to start the side quest first. Good luck with the run, Froob. And we have a $15 donation from Mike Death Ibarra that says, we may have lost the Yakuza games in GDQ for the time being, but we sure haven't lost judgment to donating towards such a great cause. Best of luck to everyone, and may you have a great rest of AGDQ. And hey, we've gotten over $22,000 for that Gauntlet boss rush. We got to get $100,000 in the next hour and a half or so, something like that. So go ahead and get those donations in gamesdonequick.com/donate. Be sure to select the incentive.
Yeah, pretty close to that. So because we've done everything correctly so far, the guy in the white mask ahead of us actually is on low enough HP that we can avoid this kickable bucket. This is going to make the next bit potentially a little bit faster. There's going to be a bit where we have to jump down in a second. If we get the right angle and a good run-up, we can actually clip onto him a little bit and stop ourselves from staggering like that. Unfortunately, I was just off of my angle a bit to the left. This is Tesso, the Liu Mang Mafia. And again, if you played Like a Dragon, you'll remember the Liu Mang Mafia. So, I'm going to be equipping the gear that we bought earlier, and I'm going to be doing a very quick level up as well. It's a really cool fight card, by the way. So, this is a very quick fight if I can do this perfectly. See if I can get that off, because I've been struggling a little bit with this fight lately. So, first of all, we're going to our gear. We're going to obviously equip our safety belt and our EX power boost that we mentioned earlier. The battle box is S. We're going to go into our skills. We actually get ourselves Verge of Death Wounded Tiger. We get ourselves, where are we? EX Burst Attack, which causes our damage in our burst attacks to be a bit stronger. And Triple Finisher. This is going to allow us to do triple combos with Tiger. Charge the first, charge the second, do not charge the third. Usually, if you charge the third, you're going to miss. Now, on harder difficulties, you actually get multiple QTEs for this bit. Here's a secret for those who are struggling, because I struggled casually as well. For the directional inputs, use the D-pad. Good fight. Very good fight. The timing on that is a little tighter than it looks. That is a very good fight. Ooh, nice. So I go into my EX there intentionally to get a bit more damage with the EX power booster. That's the reason why we bought it. So, we're going to start this fight again with the guy on the right. We're going to do this charge attack to get our damage. Then we're hopefully going to take out everybody in a single combo. And it's quite nicely lined up, actually. Ooh, very nice. Ah, that's a shame. He got pushed back because of the other body. That's a shame. That was also almost very, very nice. We want to save as much EX as we can for the next bit coming up. So we're going to intentionally take off our EX, and then we're going to have Commander and Kaito have come to help us out. Go into our EX, and hopefully get as many as we can. I missed a couple there, which is a shame, so I'm going to have to go back and take care of some of those. It shouldn't be too bad for starting this guy. We're now reasonably, behind everybody. I wonder if I can get the hit. I can't. No. Shame. If I could have got the hit on this, it would have been nice, but, well, that's fine. Yagami loves running up against the walls. You can actually get a couple of wall running attacks. They're actually really good. Nice. Good start. Good charge. One guy behind me. And hopefully hits this guy. Just missed. If the motorbike hadn't been there, we would have been able to do it. So, even though we're going into a different phase of this fight, we should still have, as you can see via the glow on me, the white glow, I should still have the attack buff on from doing the tiny charge attack. So I can just go straight into my EX and hopefully take out most of Yang's HP. He's not going to go fully down, but he's going to go mostly down. Now I'm going to go over to Crane. Oh, I was just too slow. I was trying to get over to Crane whilst I still had a tiny bit of EX left. I do not like you going up the stairs because it makes it a little harder to hit. So thanks for that, Kuwana. Appreciate the help, I guess. So we're going to head back to the office and we're going to find that, unfortunately, whilst we were running after Tesso, the Liumang have actually gone ahead and gone back to the office and unfortunately assaulted both Tsukumo and Sugiura. So we're going to have to go into the next chapter with... Actually, no, it wasn't Liumang. Sorry. I actually lied. They were attacked by a set of unknown assailants all wearing clown masks. We don't actually know who they are yet. There's the couch. Oh wait, Kamurocho. Kamurocho. How did I forget? This is where the game starts opening up. How did I forget about the Kamurocho part? So, the next day, us and Kaito, we're gonna head back to Kamurocho. And we're gonna find a couple of thugs, a couple of ex-Yakuza, walking around. They're looking for someone with long hair and glasses. Now, these guys are a member of a group called RK. I'm not going to go too into details, but RK turned up after the events of Yakuza Like a Dragon. I don't have any EX for this, so I'm going to have to try and build up my EX as fast as possible, because I would like to obviously EX these guys as quick as I can. Kaneda here has your HP bar, so focus on him if you can. Hoping the one person who's kind of, to my back will come forward, which is nice. Nice, good fight. Almost not a good fight. Kaito grabbing the guy there could have put me in a bad position, so I'm kind of glad he didn't. But we're going to meet in the cutscene a character called Akutsu. He's one of the high-ranking members of RK. So RK is a group that was comprised after the events of Like a Dragon, and we'll get into them in the next chapter because they're kind of the antagonistic group of this game. Now, when you're with your NPC allies, as you can see with Kaito here, we can't get out our skateboard. I ran here because I didn't want to walk into the two pedestrians that were on the side of the street there. We're finally going to go and talk to Ihara. We're going to go with Saori. Kaito's just going to be like, listen, I ain't doing that lawyer stuff. You're the lawyer here. Fair enough, Kaito. So, we're going to show Ihara a specific piece of evidence, which is the Mikishiba alive photo, or before his death. And Ihara's going to go on a very long rant. Again, it's one of those things that I can't sum up well in a speed run of this speed. In that he's going to go on a big rant about the judicial system and how, obviously, the justice system failed him and failed his son. And that's going to be very important for his motivations in this game. We're going to head back to the Yagami Detective Agency, where we're going to have gotten an email from Tsukumo. Mikoshiba's murder footage has leaked onto the internet, and the killer is Ihara. This is where things are going to get really interesting. So, we're going to go and see everyone again at the law office. We do have to get Kaito's dialogue first. We have to run to the door first. And head over here. So, I'm going to get a long bit of cutscenes here again. Again, the trouble with the commentary for this is it's going to be a bit rough. Oh, hey, fight spawn? Fight spawn? No. Detective dog. Look at that good boy. Look at that good lad. Unfortunately, we are going to recall Rampo immediately, but look at that good boy. What a good lad. So, we're going to meet Mafuyu here. She is a member of the prosecution. May or may not have been romantically involved with Yagami in the past. Go play Judgment. So, the prosecution... Tsukumo believes that the footage is real. We're going to start a theory that the groping incident was a setup, by the way. We're going to show the map. If ever you're in doubt about what to show on the map, what evidence to show, just show the map. It's always the map. But the prosecution the prosecution doesn't believe that the footage is real, and both the Kanagawa and Tokyo PD can't actually act on the footage until it's confirmed to be real. So, whilst most people think that it's a deep fake, we don't believe that it is. For this fight, we're going to do a very quick level up. This should be the attack level 4. So just straight into our attack and level 4. Yep, just enough. You can sometimes be down a little bit of skill points for this fight for attack level 4. If so, you want to get it after this fight. Hopefully the guy with 1 HP will come over here, because this is a good setup over here by Kaito. I love just doing the slide attack. It's just, you just style. It's great. Nice beer crate. I think Kaito's angry. So, with Arcade constantly hounding us here in Kamurocho, we're going to go and find their quotation marks secret hideout, and we're going to go and try and get them to stop harassing us. Now, in this bit here, all of the fight spawns are actually fixed, including the one on the left there. You have to take that at the correct angle, otherwise you're getting into a fight. So, because Kaito is ex-Tojo clan, he's going to go and speak with Akutsu. Now, unfortunately, Kaito doesn't come back for about 10 minutes, so we're going to go in and we're going to go see what Kaito's up to. We're going to go and help our lad out because he's our best bud. We're going to look at the vent, and we're going to do a little bit of Metal Gear Solid action. So whilst we crawl around in the vent for a little bit, Bobby, if you got any donations, again, now is a perfect time.
Yes, we have a $20 donation from PLA saying, "Hey Froob, maximum respect. You're playing like an asset as always. The Judgment games deserve to be seen, and this game is a masterpiece, whether you play it fast or slow. Let's see that Gauntlet Boss Rush and Super Amon." And we have a $200 donation from Moriyoshi-chan saying, "Froob, it's been so amazing seeing how far you've come since the days I used to lurk in your Yakuza 3 remastered streams. This year's GDQ is especially important to me as my mom and brother are both recovering from cancer. So thank you again for being a lovely friend and incredible streamer. Lots of love and good luck on the rest of the run." And congratulations to your mom and brother for recovering. Speaking of that Boss Rush donation, we are almost at $24,000 out of 100,000. We're almost a quarter of the way there, y'all. Dearest Twitch chat, I believed in you from the beginning. So let's have this happen. And I do see your $5 train y'all did at 55.55. That was amazing. Let's keep that going.
Yeah, thank you all very much. Thank you all for the kind messages as well. I really appreciate it. We're gonna find this guy right here, as we've disguised ourselves as obviously the bartender. We're gonna serve him a drink, and you're gonna find that this guy has one of the weakest constitutions that you'll ever see out of anybody. I'm just gonna imagine that we put sleeping tablets or something in this drink. This is clearly just cherry juice, like, it's clearly not alcoholic at all. And he's gonna take it, he's gonna drink, and wait for it. wait for it. He's just gonna walk off, and he's already asleep. I don't know how he's already asleep. Probably overworked himself, I guess. So, this stealth section here actually has a little bit of speed tech to it to make it go a little bit faster. So we're gonna throw a coin over here. We wanna watch out for this guy on the left. If he sees us, then that's gonna be a game over, and he is the pain here. The speed tech was the smoke bomb we got earlier. The coin for this guy is all the way on the right over there. So by using a smoke bomb here, we can actually just walk past him straight away, and we don't have to worry about him. Please don't turn around, sir. Thank you. I did not pick up the smoke bomb, which I really need for later, so I'm just gonna grab that. If you use the smoke bomb against this guy, it's not the end of the world. The smoke bomb will make one of the later stealth sections go a lot quicker. We won't actually see a stealth section again for quite a long time. But we're going to head up here to the back where you can see Kaito, and you'll finally get to see who Akutsu is. So, we're going to do a big 3-phase fight coming up here. Akutsu wants Kaito to join RK. In terms of RK, they gain their members, and depending on if they were ex-Tojo or not, they can get a better rank when they join. Ex-Tojo rank members usually join at a rank B. Akutsu says that Kaito can join at a rank A. Now, for this first phase, I'm building up my EX for the rest of the fight. Kaito, thank you. I need that, man, thank you. Hey, language. So, for the last 2 phases, we have our attack buff on, and we're going to start from the left-hand side. We're going to try and get as many people in our EX burst as possible. So again, we're going to have to react to how it goes. Kaneda here is going to get an EX move in the next version of the fight. too bad. Not too bad for how spread out that was, actually. I'm okay with that. So, last phase. Kutsu's a bit rude. You'll be seeing a lot more of a Kutsu in about 2 chapters' time. Trust me. This fight's got a couple of 1 HP barred enemies. You can see that Kaneda is going to be going into his EX. Can I interrupt it? Nope, bad timing, so I'm just going to go away. Bye. Nice, okay. Don't usually use the mortal there, but because I was a little close to him, I decided to just make sure I wasn't going to get hit by that and lose like a good 20-30 seconds. Nice, Kaito dealt with that guy quite well. I'm going to see if I can get this guy with the... Nope. If he hadn't gone down on the ground, he walked towards me maybe, but we can just do this. Nice. That was okay. That was a decent fight. I'll take that. Again, the wonderful dragon engine knocking all the furniture everywhere. Absolutely wonderful. So that's a Kutsu. Again, we'll see him later. Soma turns up. Soma is the leader of RK and one of the big antagonists in the game. Again, you'll see him later on. He basically agrees and says to us that yes, RK will back down. We're going to now head back to the Gendalore office. I think this is where we're going to go and see a certain, Yui Mamiya. Yui Mamiya is the victim in Ihara's groping case. We're going to go and see her. Now, she's obviously not going to be too happy about the defense coming forward to come and see her, or the prosecution even. So we're going to go in here and we're going to see her lifestyle, which is basically her son and herself. And of course, as part of any good interrogation, we're going to show her footage of the grisly murder scene. I don't know why. Now, after the set piece, Soma actually confirms to us that the person they're looking for, who's called Shinya Kawai, is already dead. He actually disappeared from Kamurocho a good couple of years ago. So, we're going to head back into the Gendalore office, and we're going to talk to Saori and the others, and we're going to start proposing a theory. So, this is the theory. Ihara's accomplices posted the murder video. The map, because Ihara wasn't on camera the entire time. Oh, there it is. Again, the map is the big piece of evidence. Yui Mamiya was colluding with Ihara, and someone spying on us went to Kurakara Academy. Akike. Everything is starting to fall into place. So, this is going to be Chapter 6. Chapter 6 is a reasonably shorter chapter. We're going to be... I don't think there's actually a fight in this chapter, if I remember rightly. So, we're going to be heading over to the school, and we're going to get into one of the big differences between OG Judgment's run and Lost Judgment's run, and one of the big reasons as to why Lost Judgment is a much better game than OG Judgment in terms of letting you play the game. I'm going to try and do something here. Get it? Stay there for a second. Nope. Okay, so what you can do, I'll try it again later on. This character's hitbox is messed up in the original Judgment. It's way smaller than it should be. In Lost Judgment, they fixed it. We have a thing in Yakuza Like a Dragon speedruns where we can actually displace our hitbox by hitting an object at the right time. You kind of force yourself inwards a little bit. You can access that couch from outside of the office. Now, I was being a bit careful there, because if I accidentally hit the letterbox, we accidentally pick ourselves up all the DLC in the game and all the rewards for doing the gauntlet, which would cost me a minute and a half. I'll try that again. I've got one more chance to try that again later on. But yeah, that counter's hitbox is now broken in a good way. It went from being broken in a bad way to being broken in a very good way. That's literally pretty much one of the only glitches that we get. So, Sawa Sensei... she's going to tell us, again, a little bit about Mikoshiba and Ihara's son, but she's now going to go off into a staff meeting, so unfortunately we're going to have to leave the high school. So we're going to carry on our investigation, but we're going to carry it on over in Kamurocho. Why do I keep trying to skip those every time? We're going to go carry on our investigation over in Kamurocho with the game's second playable character. Kaito, right? No, someone even more awesome than Kaito. We are going to be playing, very briefly, as Sayori. So, in the original Judgment, there was a little bit of a section with Sayori again where you had to go undercover. We're going to go undercover again and try and find RK. So, we're going to get a little bit of a nice throwback to the original Judgment here. We're going to meet a couple of people in Bartender. Yes, it's a bar called Bartender. Yes, Bartender. Even the game is throwing puns out at this point. We're going to meet Mary here at the front. She is the cause of one of the longer tail segments in the original Judgment speedrun. Thank you very much. You're going to get something similar to, obviously, Kiwami 2's hostess section where you have to dress up Saori. None of it matters. We just get free skill points in this bit. It's great. We're now going to do a walking section down the street for about a minute. So, Bobby, if you've got any donations, now is, again, a perfect time.
All right, well, we have a $50 donation from Paul saying, longtime German, first-time watcher. Had to donate for the boss rush as Froob is an amazing runner, and I can't get over how good his commentary is during the run. Greetings from donation. And we have $50 from Hot Hot Pants saying 10 tickets to the Lost Judgment donation train, please. I'm seeing your donation trains. It's helping a lot. And we have a $250 donation from Hydrogen Pink saying, so excited to watch a Lost Judgment run. Looking forward to see if we reach the Gauntlet boss rush. Good luck on the run, Froob. If Hydrogen Pink, no, when we reach the Gauntlet boss rush, we are almost 25% of the way there. We're almost a quarter of the way there. $25,000 out of $100,000. We've got a little bit over an hour left. I know y'all can do it. We're also getting close to $1.2 million overall. So get your donations and be sure to select the incentive when you go to gamesdonequick.com/donate.
Yes, thank you all very much. It's greatly appreciated. It really, really is. It's very touching, again, to be able to be a part of this event. This event has been absolutely amazing so far. You'll have seen how well everyone is doing so far, and that's all down to all of you at home. Thank you all so very much for tuning in, for donating to charity, even just telling your friends that the marathon's going on. Thank you all so very much. So, one of the things that just happened there is a time waiting section. There are 4 of them in the original Judgment where you have to wait 90 seconds each time, but you'll notice that we didn't wait at all. This is why I keep saying that Lost Judgment is a fantastic game that lets you just play the game. Instead of having time waiting segments in this game, they're distance-based. That's going to be important later. So if you taxi a certain distance away, you skip the time waiting section. There are also no money walls in this game like there are in the other Yakuza games or OG Judgment. This game, the best thing about Lost Judgment is it wants you to play the game. It does not stop you in any way, shape, or form. It is fantastic. Now, we were going to meet up with Sawa after her staff meeting, but unfortunately she got a phone call saying her apartment was being broken into and has gone home. Now, we know that RK are in town looking for something. We're a little worried about Sawa, so we're going to go over to Sawa's apartment, because we know that Sawa was a member or a student at Kurakara Academy all those years ago. We feel like obviously there is a connection between Kurakara Academy and everything that's going on. So we're going to head over to Sawa's apartment, which is just over here. Again, love the skateboarding section. Do like our skateboarding sections. And when we get to Sawa's apartment, who's going to turn up but Jin Kuwana? And unfortunately, so does RK. So, this is chapter 7, right? Yeah, this is chapter 7. This is one of the good chapters. It's a very, very long set piece. Akutsu's back. We call this chapter the Akutsu Gauntlet. We're now going to change up the run a little bit, and this has changed up a little bit in the last few days, so I have to be a little careful here. We're going to get Secret of the Tiger. Now, if you remember when I said earlier that every time we use, obviously, our specials with our styles, we actually get access to, like, a bonus. Like, obviously, for Tiger, as I've said, we gain access to, obviously, extra damage. With Secret of the Tiger, you can take that damage and apply it to your other fighting styles. Nice fight. We're now mixing Crane into the run. So, one thing about the Akutsu Gauntlet that I'm going to mention. Do you have a favorite jam emote? I don't mean jam as in the food, I mean jam as in dance emote, because with the Akutsu Gauntlet, you're about to hear some real good music. So I want you all to get all of your favorite jamming, dancing emotes ready, because you're about to hear one of the best tracks in the entire game. And this game is absolutely full of them. I just have to mention the word Viper. So, we're going to tell Sawa to stay in her apartment. We're going to go and chase after Kuwana, who's being chased by RK. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy this music. It's good. Let's be quiet for a second here. Just wait for the drop. You'll know it's coming. Nice fights. music. So we're going to try and build up our EX in this fight a little bit. And hopefully that might knock, one person away. Which is fine, so he got knocked backwards. Nice. Doesn't usually happen. Good fight again. Oh, this is a good set piece so far. Oh, it's so good. It's so good music. Now, unfortunately, this little bit of set piece doesn't last too long. Now, it's very important that you get your upgrades before this fight. If you need healing as well, do it before this fight. We're going to send a Kutsu straight into phase 2. Nice little collateral on the enemies. Or not, because I somehow missed my third attack. Now, when we get to the mid part of this fight, Kuwana is just going to leave. So, at this point, the interesting visual effect there, I don't know what happened there. We're going to try and take care of, obviously, all the enemies. If I can interrupt Kutsu, nice, good hit. No, there's the EX. Be careful with the Kutsu's EX. It's a lot earlier than you would expect it to be. It's a very nasty one. Good fight. Very good fight. Ooh. This is a good chapter so far. So the reason why you need to do all of your level ups and your heals before this fight is because, unfortunately, at the end of the fight, we get knocked out. We get our throne thrown away. Now, Soma confirms RK are looking for Jin Kuwana. Except not the Jin Kuwana we know. Because Jin Kuwana is an alias. Kuwana's real name is Yu Kitakata. And that is going to be very important coming up in a bit. Kutsu now has a chainsaw. Kutsu now no longer has a chainsaw. I don't think this is how steel chairs work, but this is how this steel chair is going to work. Always triangle for this QTE, which is nice. Now, I'm hoping that Akutsu will roll backwards towards me. If Akutsu rolls backwards towards me, I can actually do this phase a little bit quicker because he's going to be right in the line of where I want him to be. Very nice. So, again, he's invulnerable for a second. Nice. Good Akutsu. Again, we built up a little bit of EX, so we're just going to use our Crane Star. What I'm also doing there that I haven't touched on too much earlier, you can see that I actually changed... I changed my style quickly by basically dash canceling. So you have quick steps. Put that down. That's not yours. You basically want to do a dash quick step to be able to change your styles a little quicker. Like get out combos a bit quicker, change your styles a little quicker. That's so unfortunate. Unfortunately, I don't have a get up quick skill on thing yet. Kaito? Not useful. Very, very not useful, Kaito. Yes, you can get attacked by your party members as well. They do no damage, but yes, they knock you to the ground and stun you. Thanks, Kaito. After all the nice messages I said about Kaito earlier. So, Sarai's going to relay a bit of information back to us. She actually relayed it back earlier. Shinnokuma disappeared 5 years ago by 10 different people, which makes us a bit suspicious. Now, unfortunately, when we go back to Sawa's apartment, we're going to find that, unfortunately, Soma has killed Sawa. So we're going to have to check through the crime scene real quick, and we're going to do something very arrogant that not many detective lawyers are going to do. We're going to get pointed towards the Kurakawa Academy yearbook, and like any good lawyer and detective, we're going to desecrate the crime scene and take the yearbook with us. I'm going to confirm that Sawa-sensei was unfortunately killed to the back of the neck with an ice pick. That is sentimental if you've ever played the original Judgment. And this chapter's going to be very sad. Everyone's now going to find out about Sawa's unfortunate passing. Now, this chapter's good because in this chapter you'll finally meet the main antagonist. Also, when we leave the staff office, we're going to get a conversation with the bullies who are finally going to go, you know what? Maybe bullying was a bad thing. Really? Really? You figured that out now. So, everyone's going to start mourning for Sawa. We're going to go and see some of the students. Some of the students are going to start to try and reconcile with Mami Koda as well. Obviously, we're going to say to them, you know, sometimes, you know, it's not going to be forgiven for that, but at least they're trying now. So, I'm going to go around talking to people for about a minute or so. So, in the meantime, Bobby, if you got a couple of donations, you got a good minute and a half or so.
All right, well, we have a $250 donation from Shiro T that says, love seeing Yakuza up on the GDQ stage, putting this toward the boss rush incentive so we can enjoy a little more of Sega's unending war on broken bones. And we have a $50 donation from KO Dojo Crow that says, I got into the Yakuza series because of Froob's Yakuza 6 run last year and the Rugby Baby incident. Thank you so much for introducing this ridiculous franchise to so many new people. We have to make this boss rush incentive. And we have $250 from The Lawful Geek saying, had to donate during Froob's run. Amazing commentary as always. Good luck with the rest of the run. Let's make that boss rush happen. How are we doing on that boss rush? We've eclipsed $26,000 out of $100,000. I'm going to say this slowly this time. GamesDoneQuick.com/donate. I got it right that time. Thank you so much for pointing that out. We got go there. Be sure to select the Gauntlet Boss Rush incentive after you put in your donation amount.
Yeah, you will see some of the most varied combat in the Boss Rush Gauntlet. If it gets met, you actually have a couple of infinite combos and a lot of style swapping that we actually do for those infinite combos. So, we're now going to try and figure out who really is Jin Kuwana, aka Yu Kitakata. So, thanks to Help Sukumo, we're going to go and find that Jin Kuwana lives pretty nearby, actually. So, this is a little area. You'll see this little hut here. This bit actually isn't in. This is the nice thing in RGD games. This hut here, which is Jin Kuwana's home, that's not actually there in Like a Dragon. It was added in the map on this game. You can actually walk up there in Yakuza Like a Dragon. There's an item drop there. But interestingly enough, we find on the door here that Kuwana's house has been broken into. So, we need to find some clues on Kuwana. There's an ashtray on the table, which is weird because it's completely clean. And next to his bed is cigarettes, which is even more double weird when Kuwana vapes. We look at the lighter. The lighter's a USB stick. Unfortunately, waiting outside is, of course, RK. I will also say for the future of the run, even though I am calling him, even though his name is obviously Kitakata, for the sake of the story, I will just keep referring him to Kuwana until, obviously, it's necessary for the story. Just to make things a little more simple. Because as I said, this is actually the first time Lost Judgment's actually been in a speedrun marathon. Thank you. And it's definitely been a bit hard to do my usual commentary around it. The end of the game, the last couple of chapters are going to go very usually RGG political, and it's going to be exceptionally hard to sum up 20-minute cutscenes in about 15 seconds. So, we learned that Kuwana has an uncle here in the city, an ex-Seiryu Yakuza member. He's been operating this bar for a while, so we're going to head over here and try and get some information, but we're going to find that the place, it looks like it's been left in a hurry. But the phone's going to go off, and unfortunately for Kaito, it's Soma with an ice pick. This is Viper. This is one of the best boss themes you'll ever hear, and it's a shame because you won't get to hear much of it in the main story. It is absolutely fantastic, as is this fight. Soma, here, he very much plays like your Snake style. Every time you counter, he counters back. This is a fantastic fight in the boss gauntlet. If you want to see it properly, please donate. So, Soma is going to, counter me here. See, he counters back. We're going to try and burst him down as much as possible. This is not too good so far. I'm just going to start my burst damage. Have to delay this a little bit to make it last long enough. This won't kill because unfortunately I'm out of my EX. That's fine. Just have to beat him before he hopefully counters again. Unfortunately, you can see Kaito is not in a good position, but Viper has very obvious horror themes. Viper's theme fits Soma so well, the creepiness and everything. Viper is one of the best fight themes RGG has ever put out. I could do a 20-page essay on how good this fight theme is. It's fantastic. Unfortunately, in the cutscene afterwards, we lose the fight. So, thankfully, Kuwana's uncle does save us. He calls Soma, or he calls the bar and says, "Get out of my bar." And basically, he calls the ambulance for Kaito. We're going to go and meet with Kuwana's uncle in a little bit. You will hear more of Soma's theme later on. Don't worry about that. Clearly not the last time we're going to fight him. So, we're going to go over to a place called Bar Survive. Again, if you've ever played Yakuza Like a Dragon, you'll know Bar Survive. In this game, thankfully, it's not in a different loading instance, it's in the same instance. So you can just walk through the door. Again, you might recognize the bartender, yes. But this is Kuwana's uncle. We're going to say to him, his real name's Kitakata. Kuwana's uncle basically wanted us to give him the USB drive, and essentially the whole conversation basically just boils down to watch the USB stick. Now, I'm going to give out that content warning again for bullying and suicide because this is where it hits hardest. Unfortunately, Tesso hits harder. I keep forgetting about Tesso. We're going to have to fight Tesso first, so I'm going to go straight to my EX and hopefully get to Tesso in a full combo. If I can do that, we can go into the second phase of the fight. Good hit. I was a bit worried. The nice thing about your attacks in your EX mode is they have a slight bit of AoE to them. Hence why we can take out multiple enemies, and why sometimes you'll see me take out enemies that are behind them. Tesso's going to go into his EX. He's going to be invulnerable, much like every other boss before him. We're going to try and take out a couple of the enemies before we attack Tesso. So if I can... This is a good position, actually. Maybe not this the telegraph pole, but everything else is. Hitting Tesso again is going to cause more enemies to show up. If I can be fast enough here, and it's quite tight timing, I can stop Tesso from using his EX. If he does use his EX, it's fine. We're just going to cancel that. Now, as you can see there, the nice thing is your actual EX attacks, your mortal reversals, they can actually do nice little AoE attacks. Depending on the style that you're in, depends on the kind of attack that you get. Nice fight. Depending on the kind of attack that you do, depends on the kind of move that comes out. Tiger is obviously very solo-focused, but does hit enemies behind them as well. Tesso's now our best friend, by the way. That's how this works. Tesso now refers to us as Anarchy. We're now best friends. So, we're going to look at the video on the USB drive, and as I said, this is not a nice video. This is a video from a good 13 odd years ago, where it's from Kurokawa Academy. The person here is Shinya Kawai. The date confirms this was actually just before Mitsuru Kusamoto tries to commit suicide. This is Yui Mami. This is Akike, or Kaiki even. And this is the unfortunate Mitsuru Kusamoto, who is currently in a coma. Mitsuru Kusamoto's mother is Reiko Kusamoto, the Vice Minister of Health, and if you've played the original Judgment, the Vice Minister of Health, not a title you want in these games. The yearbook is missing Shinya Kawai, but it's also missing the real homeroom teacher. Because the real homeroom teacher's name is Yu Kitakata, aka Jin Kuwana. Excuse me, please rest. I did not hit up, thank you. Everything is now starting to tie together. Jin Kuwana went under an alias and went underground, and he's now trying to get revenge on the bullies. Jin Kuwana is not as nice a person as he's made out to be in the initial beginnings. So, we're going to now go on the attack. Because we know that Yui Mamiya was obviously a part of this, we're going to go and speak to Yui Mamiya. That's going to go really well. So we're going to meet up with Sugiura. And I'm hoping that I have a little bit of EX left over from the last fight. If I do, this fight is going to go a lot quicker. I don't think I do, though, because I think I ended it in the EX. The grouping was orchestrated, as we theorized, and we're going to show her the bullying video, at which point her personality is going to flip 180, and she's going to call in a couple of friends. That guy in the middle looks a little familiar, doesn't he? These are the same people that assaulted Sugiura and Tsukumo earlier. It's not the best lineup, but it should be a bit better. Yeah, it's like it when that move misses. That move can miss a couple times. That guy in the pink shirt definitely looks familiar. That's because it's a Kaiki. Again, everything is all coming together. So we're going to take Yui Mamiya back to our hideout at Charles, an arcade over in Kamurocho. Higashi's arcade in Kamurocho, much to his dismay. I'm going to talk a little bit about the bullying video. So, now we... hold on a second. Basically, Yui Mamiya was approached 5 years ago, around the same time that Shinya Kawai disappeared, and she was shown a video by Kuwana, the bullying video. We basically get confirmation at this point that Kuwana is using the bullying video as leverage over all of the bullies who caused Mitsuru Kusamoto to try and commit suicide. So they're all the ones that are helping him commit all these revenge attempts against the bullies. Kuwana at this point has killed at least 7 people. Kuwana is not that nice of a person, but there's a really long cutscene there. Not something that can be easily summed up in a speedrun of just the different morals between Kuwana and Yagami and the reasons of justice. Ihara has confirmed that he wants to make the mockery out of the judicial system for failing his son. It's not something that can be easily summed up in a speedrun, I'm afraid, so This chase section is very, very important not to miss a single beat here, otherwise we lose 45 seconds. So whilst I run around kicking objects at Kuana, Bobby, now is an amazing time for donations.
All right, well, we have Smaman donated $18.31. It says, I've got 3 tickets to the $5 train and one that Ronpo chewed up. Oh, well, every cent counts, right? Let's get that boss rush. Yes, every cent does count. I know when you're listening to the host, to me reading donations, you're hearing a lot of $100, $250, stuff like that. But the Prevent Cancer Foundation can absolutely use even just $5. So even if it's $5, it can go towards this. Do not be dissuaded by the fact that there's a lot of $50 and $100 donations in here if you cannot do that. Speaking of that, we do have a $50 donation from Hegemony Hog. I probably pronounced that really wrong. Looking forward to a speedrun of the best high school advisor simulator human civilization has ever produced. And we are almost at $28,000 raised out of $100,000 for the Gauntlet Boss Rush. Remember, when you are making your donation at gamesdonequick.com/donate, be sure to select the incentive after you have put in the amount. And let's get this boss rush in, and let's get that $1.2 million total.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Again, everybody has done such an amazing job this week so far. So, as you can see, Kuana obviously is going to keep running off. This car park, yes, is the same one that was featured in Yakuza 6's plot. Hey, guess what? Akike's back. So if I can do this fight correctly, and the angle for this is really tight. I can get these two, hopefully get Akike. That's a shame. I was going to go to EX. Thankfully, I have a buffer of EX because I didn't use EX in the last fight. It's really hard to get the right angle there, but look at that. That is what you can do with good positioning. Like, basically, we want to... Wait, you're alive. Hello. I thought you were gone. So, I think that was the guy I attacked at the start, actually, with the 2-hit combo. What you can do with good positioning, which is really tight in that fight, you can basically take out most of the ads with that 2-hit combo, and then you just leave yourself right next to Akike to just take him out. Bit of a rough fight, not gonna lie. Didn't expect that guy to be alive, I'm not gonna lie. So, we wait until everybody from the law office comes over, and this is time for plot dump exposition. Oh, wait, no, wait, hold on. Why do I always forget about this one? Kill some time for the law office to get here, and then plot dump exposition time. So there's a little bit of weird speed tech here, whereas if we skip this cutscene right here, we get teleported back to where we were. Now, the nice thing is, even though there's usually a fight spawn here, which there is, again, as long as you're on the skateboard, you can just get past them. Also, if you jump, you don't stagger off of people or enemies as well. That's a very important part to the skateboarding that I did not mention earlier. Area trigger, so we don't have to worry about them. 3 things. The Grizzly murder scene. The trace inspection report. And the ticketed timestamp. So, Yui Mamiya is going to pretty much confirm our theory. The person who groped Yui Mamiya on the train, because it was way too far away for Ihara to be able to do, the person who groped Yui Mamiya on the train ahead of time was Kuwana. In the blind spot of the cameras at the station, they intentionally swapped out. They basically set it all up so that Ihara could get away with murder on a sexual misconduct charge. I'm going to try it one more time. Had it for a second. Yeah, there we go. I got it. So yeah, the character's hitbox, it's just broken for some reason. I don't know why, but it's great. That doesn't actually lose you any... That doesn't actually save you any time, considering how finicky the angle is to get that without getting the DLC. So... So, we show him the Grizzly murder, and Ihara learned the truth about Mikoshiba's bullying originally from Sawa Sensei. That's how he found out it was Mikoshiba. Cool. So, we should listen to Sayori-san. Always listen to Sayori-san. I keep telling you, she's the best character in this game. So, we're going to get a phone call from Tsukumo, and we're going to go meet back up over at Yokohama 99 over in Ijincho. Always listen to Sayori. Always listen to Sayori. She's the best. So once again... Oh. Why did I get confused there? I thought I was in Ijincho. So, in that conversation with Ihara, again, it's a lot to sum up in a very short space of time. Ihara basically confirms that, yes, he let slip that he did commit the murder. He's not going to confirm it in court. We are going to try and get Ihara retrialed so that we can get him caught on murder rather than him making a mockery of the legal system. So, we're going to have to do a little bit of time wasting here. So what we go and do is we just taxi to the first spot. After this one, we want to take intentional time waiting taxis. And I'll explain those ones when we get there. So we're going to head back to Yokohama 99, and we're going to go forward by a couple of hours. And we're going to get a phone call from Detective Watanabe, who wants to speak to us, but is reluctant to do so. He's not actually going to speak to us right now. We're going to go and meet up with him. Thankfully, Tsukumo is going to triangulate his position on the phone call that we get from him, and he's going to be over in Chinatown. We got a big, long section after that coming up, so now, Bobby, if you want to do a minute's worth of donations, now is a perfect time.
All right, well, speaking of those big amounts that shouldn't ward anybody away, $500 from Anonymous. Froob, he's wonderful. How can you not want to see more of Froob and Lost Judgment? And we have a $275 donation from Kanja Method saying, nothing but love for GDQ and the staff, hosts, commentators, and runners for setting up this awesome event for this noble cause that affects so many of our loved ones. And thank you to Froob for this amazing run. The commentary is top-notch, and it makes me want to grab Lost Judgment for myself. And hey, since that was a $50 minimum donation, you do get entered for the Sega Mega Prize Pack, which has Lost Judgment and Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, as well as some capsule toys and some pins and stuff like that. $50 minimum single donation gets you in for that during this run. How are we doing? We are almost at $29,000 out of $100,000 for the Gauntlet Boss Rush. So Twitch chat, I still believe in you, dearest Twitch chat. I know we can do this.
Fun fact, that's an insta-kill QTE, don't fail it. Yagami can't swim. So I just noticed I made a little bit of a mistake in the previous chapter. I forgot to get my attack level 5 upgrade, but we are now back, because of the basically the new route, we're now back on what should be the proper route. Again, I don't want to get hit by Watanabe's EX, so I want to do that. And you'll notice that we're doing a lot more damage with our reversals now. One of the upgrades that I got there was EX Reversal Tiger, where in my EX form, I can actually do way more damage with my reversal attacks now. So what I'm going to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, that's wrong, that's 6. Again, this taxi is the other one I mess up. I don't know why. It's every single one, it's this time. I keep saying to trust myself, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. I keep saying every time, I never trust myself with this taxi. This taxi specifically, I messed it up earlier, I messed it up here again. Every time. But we got a couple of upgrades you saw there. We got obviously attack level 5, attack level 6. Those should be pretty self-explanatory. But we got a couple of other ones for our EX mode. We got one which was EX Gauge. That builds up our EX faster. And EX Extension, which as you can probably guess, makes our EX last longer. Now, I have another stealth section here where we're going to infiltrate Komijul. We want to be reasonably fast at the start here so that we can get a good cycle on the policemen that are walking around. I can stand up. Yagami. Yagami takes ages to stand up for some reason. Don't know why. So we're going to head down here. We don't need the gold plate, but that does sell for a lot of money. We're going to go over here, and we're going to throw a coin at this guy. Again, want to save our smoke bombs. If we can get a good angle here, we can go over here without being seen again. Throw a coin for this policeman, because he will see us, unfortunately. Go over here where this policeman is waiting. We can't skip this cutscene, so don't try. I try quite a lot. Hopefully get the coin and not the smoke bomb, because again, I would like to keep that. He's a bit closer than I would like, so I'm going to have to wait for a second and then run. And look at the drone. That's going to de-aggro the previous guard, and we can run through the door. The timing is actually a little different in the Japanese dub there, I just noticed. That's interesting. Huh. Alright, so we're going to be entering Komijul. Again, if you played Yakuza Like a Dragon, you'll know this place. It is the home of the Komijul. They are currently whereabouts unknown. The events are Like a Dragon. We are going to be heading up, and you're going to be seeing a very, very familiar looking set piece. So, RK are also here. We're all looking for Jin Kuana. Sugihiro catches up to us, and we're going to get into a little bit of speed tech here. We want to run at the start of this because we're going to be into a forced walking section. And you might remember earlier, first person going upstairs. Simple as that. Now, thankfully, we're going to get taken out of the walking section so we can go through this door, so we'll be able to run again. We're going to be coming up against another action sequence coming up here. This is one that usually ends my runs because it breaks in some way, shape, or form. I like these action sections, but this one upsets me. In Yakuza Like a Dragon, you go up the stairs to the left there. In Lost Judgment, we're going this way instead to sharpen our parkour skills. Now, again, because this is an action section, again, Bobby, if you got any donations, the next minute or two is absolutely fantastic.
Awesome. We have a $100 donation from Roto Monkey saying, a cool hundo for the speedrunner with the best solo commentary around. If I could replace the voice in my head, I would definitely hire Froob for the job. And we have another $100 from Steven that says, the Yakuza series is one of my favorite series ever, so I was very excited to see Lost Judgment on the schedule for this year. Loved Froob's previous runs and am looking forward to watching this one while I work from home. Here's $100 toward that Gauntlet Boss Rush incentive. Keep up the great work, everyone. And we have $125 from Eccentric J saying this game is a masterpiece and Froob makes it look easy. We are at almost $30,000 toward that $100,000 Gauntlet Boss Rush incentive. Please, when you make your donation over at gamesdonequick.com/donate, be sure to select that incentive after you put in the amount that you are donating to the Prevent Cancer Foundation.
Yep, and we've got about 45 minutes left, just to let you know. So, the action section there, the problem with the action section there is that if you fail at any point, you go back to the very beginning, and that little jump that I did at the end there, that's one of the nastiest jumps in any of the action sections. For some reason, sometimes Yagami will just decide, I don't want to go all the way over there, I don't want the momentum, and sometimes just falls. So that's usually why I lose runs to this bit, unfortunately. Now, this fight's gonna be a bit nasty. Because beginning with this fight, we're going to start seeing gun enemies. And gun enemies can pretty much kill me at this current HP value. So I'm going to go ahead and specifically take out the gun enemy that's in front of me. Then I'm going to turn around and hopefully the guy with large HP bar, yep, that's you, will get a bit closer to me so I can start taking him out. So again, doing my dash cancelling to make sure I can get back into the combo a bit quicker. I'm going to try and finish off this combo because I can't exactly... Ooh, nice hit. I can't get into another combo because my EXs ran out, so... I was hoping he would come around the corner, that's a shame. So I knew he had low HP, so I knew if I would connect with the first kick, I knew I could just take him out the second kick. Good fight apart from the last guy. Very good fight apart from the last guy. Nicely in that fight, Sugiura is usually the one that gets the attention and deals with the guys with the guns. Thankfully, he did here as well. Sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he doesn't. So... the members of Komi Jewel are actually, surprisingly enough, in Komi Jewel, and they say that Jin Kuwana is actually over with the Liu Mang and Tesso. So we're going to go and see Tesso right now. Oh, look, a fight spawn. And it's coming towards me. You all know what time it is. Here's, of course... Oh, I can't get it out here. Why can't I get out the detective dog here? Excuse me? Where's my Rampo? I want my Rampo. Why can't I use Rampo here? Excuse me? I'm upset. I want my dog. Anyway, we're going to have a conversation with Kuwana as well. We're going to pinpoint... We use Vice Minister Reiko Kusamoto. That skips a bit of dialogue. This fight's tricky, so I'm going to have to concentrate on this one. Oh, this music, by the way. I need to build up my EX. This is a little worrying. Please don't react. Thank you. So, first phase, we're going to build up our EX. Just hoping I get him. Unfortunately, he did his counter. That's going to be late. Just do this, it's fine. Oh, he actually caught me. My dodge timing was off. So now you can see the problems that you have, and yeah, you can see the absolute problems with, obviously, letting the enemies do their EX. If I can juggle you, I'm going to juggle you. I'm in death range. But the upside to this is now I get extra damage. This is the scary part. Do I want to heal before the last fight of this chapter? It's a construction site, right? Should have... Oh, our boy Zhao. If you ever played Yakuza Like a Dragon, there's a cameo for you. Should have enough HP. It's the construction site fight. The only worry is the guy in orange. I think it's fine. Yeah, I think we go with low HP strats here to go faster. I don't think there's any danger here. I think we should be fine. As long as I do the next fight correctly, we should be more than okay. So, Reiko Kusamoto, the Vice Minister of Health. We have a suspicion that Kuwana likely approached Reiko Kusamoto. I did the wrong menu. That's not my LAD menu, sir. Again, the problem about running, and I've said this in the past, running multiple Dragon Engine games, sometimes the tactical list gets a little confusing up here. Sometimes I decide to run this game with Yakuza Like a Dragon's tactical list, which is very, very different. Because with Yakuza Like a Dragon's taxi list, you actually have to speak to all of the taxis to be able to unlock them as taxi points, which means that you eliminate some of the fluff taxis that you don't need. Sometimes I get a little confused about that. So, we set up an elaborate system with a drone and 2 phones to see whether Reiko Kusamoto's phone is bugged or not. Surprise, it is. We don't think that RK, the actual masterminds here, we feel like there's actually a bigger mastermind out there. Good start. Good movement. Very good. Good fight. Very good fight. That went way quicker because I was on low HP, which is nice, but that was a good fight. Now, thankfully, every time you change chapters, it does heal you. Although, honestly, having low HP for this bit would actually be kind of nice, not going to lie. So, oh boy. I said my commentary might suffer a little bit later on. There's a taxi ride that's about to come up. In game cutscenes time, it's about 20 minutes long. I have about 15 seconds to sum it up. So, Bobby, donations, please.
That's right. We're not going to spoil this part for you. You got to play the game. We have a $20 donation from Zimp Lissy that says, love Froob and his speed runs, also the effort of all staff of GDQ. Keep up the amazing work you're doing, that you're all doing. With heart and love, Zimp Lissy. And we have $100 from Tanuki Dan saying, fantastic runner, running a fantastic game for a fantastic charity. Thanks to all the organizers and running for making GDQ possible. Let's hit that incentive to see Super Amon get super wrecked. And we have a $50 donation from Daniel S. saying, always love to see the Yakuza-verse. Or, I said it wrong. I've been trying to say Yakuza the whole time, and I reverted. I apologize. Let me start that again. Daniel S., $50 donation. Always love to see the Yakuza-verse games get the exposure and love they deserve. Thank you all for making my workday go by quickly. Good luck to all the runners this week. How are we doing on that incentive? We have crossed the $30,000 barrier. We are almost to $31,000 out of $100,000 for that Gauntlet boss rush. And I do promise, I worked on that Yakuza pronunciation a year ago when we were starting to work together, Froob, because I had been saying it wrong my whole life, and I worked really hard, and I feel really bad that I went back and went to the old way, but...
It's hard. Japanese phonetics are different. I also mess up a lot of times on names myself. I've called a Kaiki a Kike like 5 times in this game. It's like, pronunciation is hard. So, at this point, we are going to try and get the prosecution to agree to an Ihara mistrial. That guy on the right next to the dialogue box that I just picked. His name is Bando. He is a member of public security. Long story short, public security are the ones who have their fingers over Reiko. They're trying to... Reiko, being the Vice Minister of Health, has a lot of power and influence, and if public security can control Reiko, then obviously they will be able to gain a lot of influence. Now, in regards to Reiko, she was the one who contacted Kuwana because she actually met up with Shinya Kawai. But Shinya Kawai didn't even recognize her, so she wanted to atone. Reiko Kusamoto has a very big hand to play in all of this. So, we're going to plan the next moves. Tech skip with Sayori. Her hitbox is a little weird as well. We start skip on Hoshino, and I just realized you're going to get a big long chance in a minute. Leave it to you, Samurai-san. You're going to get a big long chance in a minute to read off way more donations, because I do not like this bit. I'm going to complain and moan about this bit if I have a chance to, so I'm not going to. So once again, we're going to go undercover as Sayori. The thing we need to do... I said the stupid bit about this bit, but it gives me 10,000 skill points for walking down the street again. The worst part about this bit is, we need to go undercover at the same club we went undercover in the original Judgment, because we need to find out where RK are hiding. Spoilers, they're hiding in the exact same place, which makes this bit completely redundant, and only serves to assassinate one person's character that they built up in the first game. So Bobby, now is a very good time for donations before I start reading off about that.
All right, well, how about this $55 donation from Zaku972 saying, longtime watcher, first-time donator, my mom is a breast cancer survivor, and I'm glad to put my extra bit of money towards ending this terrible disease. Money goes to the Lost Judgment Boss Gauntlet. I'm a big RGG fan and want to see Froob beat the snot out of some bad dudes. Congratulations to your mom. Thank you so much for donating. And we have a $50 donation from Egg Sandwich saying, shoutouts to Froob, the legend of a runner whose content introduced me to some of the wacky stuff you can pull off in running Yakuza games. Do a flip! And we have a $250 donation from Milgrips saying, there isn't a bad time to donate during AGDQ, but donating during Froob's run definitely is a great time, especially to help unlock the boss rush. We just had a palindrome total donation total for the whole event. It was like $1,188,881.11 or something. It was amazing. But for this boss rush, we have eclipsed $31,000 out of the $100,000 that we need. But we are close to that $1.2 million as well.
Hey, thank you all. So, as you can see, we're back in the exact same club, in the exact same position. Nice secret hideout. So, we're going to be getting a big set of move upgrades here. One of which isn't going to look like it makes much sense. It's not going to make much sense for the fight, but it's going to be speed tech for the next chapter. This is what we like to refer to as the end of the Akutsu Gauntlet, even though, you know, it's kind of separated from the rest of the Akutsu Gauntlet. Still good music, though. So that's Higashi. He comes and helps us out. He's obviously, as I said, old buddy of ours. Doesn't get much spotlight in this game, but he's good. You gotta love Kaito. Like, come on. So, at the beginning of the fight, I need to switch back to Tiger. I'm gonna go into my EX. I'm gonna go into my skills. I'm gonna be getting myself EX extension 3, boost gauge 3. I'm gonna be going up to grip gauge 1. Going to be going over to our abilities. I'm going to be getting EX Burst Dodge and EX Burst Adamantine, which should be everything if I remember rightly. So, we're going to start, obviously, hitting Akutsu once get him to his EX mode in the middle, which that should be it. Hopefully we don't get hit by that, because that knocks us over and we basically stagger from it. Again, whilst we still have our damage from Tiger, I'm going to be taking care of as many enemies as I can. Need to reapply it, so we're going to switch back to Tiger. Taunting me, Akutsu? That's a brave strategy, because I should, take him out really fast, which is good. There's 2 enemies left, 3 enemies, there's 1 behind me. Need to not do my charge here and then do my charge here. Good. Nice. Good fight. Very nice fight. You essentially want to be constantly attacking. What I'm doing in these fights to basically try and keep up with these fights, I'm using a combination of seeing where the enemies are with obviously my eyes, but also using the mini-map as well. It's a very good fight. I'm very happy with that one. So, with Akutsu, we actually have a conversation with him. That's going to be the basis for everything we do in this chapter. We're going to go to Akutsu and say that Arcade's leader Soma, we have this little bit of a theory that he's actually working for public security. Akutsu gets really scared hearing that because apparently Soma has eyes and ears everywhere, just in case.
Yes.
There's that one. Just in case I'm going to get rid of those enemy spawns. And unfortunately, Soma does have eyes and ears everywhere, and 2 people dressed up as police officers actually kill Akutsu. So, the basis of this chapter is us going to be investigating whether or not Soma is actually a member of public security. That's going to be the basis of the next big set piece that's going to come up. This is the penultimate chapter, by the way. We've got about 35-ish minutes left of the run, so if you want to see some amazing fight action in the boss gauntlet, now is the time to get those donations in. It's also the last time we get to hit the couch from outside of the room. But again, as you can see, it's a lot slower if you try and get it from outside the room, so I'm just going to play it safe. So, I'm going to head over to Charles. We are going to go and speak to Higashi, because again, Higashi is ex-Matagami family, aka ex-Tojo clan. He would potentially know about either Soma or someone who knows about Soma. And he's going to go and take us to, or he's going to go and show us to somebody called Irie, I believe, from the Nikaido Consortium. You might remember the Nikaido Consortium being mentioned a couple of times in Yakuza 0 and Yakuza K1, or Yakuza 1, I should say. He is drinking his time away over in Earth Angel, over in the good old Bar District. The nice thing is, unlike K2's speedrun, we obviously have a way of dealing with enemy spawns in here. There's actually a piece of gear you can get in here. It's a little out of your way to go and get. It's a shirt that, if I remember rightly, increases your attack damage by, I believe, 20%. So the ex-Tojo officer there basically says a couple of things about Soma. He wasn't ever really high ranking in the Tojo clan. No taxi. But he was able to get out of the Tojo. Nope. Gonna get rid of you. Don't like that. He was able to get out of the Tojo clan just before the events of Yakuza Like a Dragon. So clearly, Soma has some knowledge of things that he shouldn't have. I'm hoping this fight goes well. This is a rough fight that I usually don't get right at the moment. And deal with you. Go into EX, hopefully get these 2. Actually, Kaito just pushed in the very nice way. Thanks, Kaito. Good lad, Kaito. Do appreciate that. This isn't the way we want to go, but having all of them go down in a single combo is really nice. Now, one thing that hasn't come up that much in this run, but does in the original Judgments run, is passcodes. So there are certain passcodes, safes, etc. that have locks on them, like this door right here. If you know the lock ahead of time, you can put in the passcode. We can turn Kaito into Ryuji from Persona 5 for a second, because he goes, for real? There you go. So, this is going to be our next big action section. This is the reason why we got grip level 1 for the third part of this. So until we get there where I can explain the speed tech, Bobby, now is a perfect time for like a minute or two of donations.
All right, well, we do have a $100 donation from Anna that just asked, can we start a pet Ronpo train? To also helps get rid of all the enemies. And we have a $5 donation from Drythe that says, chat, let's get a $5 train going and get this boss rush. And we also have a $50 donation from Logic Error that says, thanks to the GDQ team and for all their hard work and to everyone who has donated, let's unlock that Lost Judgment boss rush. How are we doing? We are over $32,000 out of the $100,000 to get that boss rush with the super boss fight at the end.
Keep going, you've got like another minute more.
Okay, so we have $25 from the Pan 2 that says, had to donate during Froob's run of Lost Judgment. The Yakuza series has some of the most cozy speedruns, and the speedrunning community is a great one to be involved with. Good luck, Froob, and let's get that boss rush. And we have a $50 donation from Cartridge Blowers that says, the Sega prize pack looks amazing. Here's some terrible things for you, Froob. How do you win a wrestling match against a reincarnated goddess? Pin Megami Tensei. What do you call it when a Sonic game comes out at the same time each year? Chronic Mania. What do you call the thrilling tale of Yagami searching heat in negative 30-degree weather? Frost Judgment. I'll see myself out and put this towards the boss rush because bosses are meant to be beaten in rapid succession. I learned that from being in management. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you all so much. Y'all, why? So, this is actually the bit right here that you need the grip gauge for. If you get grip level 1, you could just about make it here with perfect movement. Look how close that is. I would not say that was perfect movement, but we got there. That's what's important. So, you can probably guess we just go into EX and just hit triangle here. It's a nice, easy fight. They were supposed to go down on the second hit. Why didn't they go down on the second hit? I missed one of my hits. I must have missed one of my hits. That's interesting. They're supposed to go down on the second hit, not the third. Either way, we're going to go and let Kaito and Higaishi up onto the roof. This looks like it's a cutscene. It's not a cutscene. We get to see good old Kaito just give us wave. Again, we do love Kaito here. Kaito is amazing. So, we're now going to get into our last stealth section of the run, and again, would you be surprised, there's speed tech behind this. It's kind of nice that all of like the actual stealth sections, even though they're supposed to be stealth sections, do have speed tech to them to make them go a little bit faster. Most of them is the smoke bomb. Now we have to take care of that enemy as well. This is the speed tech. You just jump over here. The other speed tech is the fact that if you have a extra smoke bomb, you can just take him out. Now, the enemies in this stealth section are very aware, so you can't, unfortunately, you can run up behind him and try and take him down. Very, very risky and usually gets you caught. That's the reason why we like to use the smoke bomb here. So, this is going to be the end of the first part of this stealth section. You have to take him down for the endpoint to reveal itself. That guy can't see us, that's fine. He's also not going to see us coming in the next part either. Wait for a second, not skippable just yet. Now skippable. Jump over the roof. Now, the start of this bit is going to put you directly in a hiding spot. When you're in a hiding spot, you can't actually leave the hiding spot. You have a coin opportunity here, but when you throw a coin, as you saw earlier, it makes every single enemy kind of just judder for a second. So that's slower than using the smoke bomb. That's why you want to save our smoke bomb for here. Now, that guy over there, we need to have very good timing to be able to get him perfectly. It is very, very tight timing in this bit, so I have to concentrate a tiny bit here just to make sure that I don't displace myself a little too much off of the furniture. So, let's go this way for coin. Should be good. No, no, pushed it too hard. I kind of saw his angle as being a bit weird and I shouldn't have tried that. Sorry, we get restarted there, it's fine. That's failing 2 investigations today, that's not good. But yeah, that's the reason why I said the timing is very, very tight on that one. And there's a slight chance that it might be tighter with the Japanese dub. I'm not so sure. The English dub and the Japanese dub have very slight differences in some of their scripting. It's one of the reasons as to why the original Judgment is much, much faster in English, is because for some bizarre reason, in the original Judgment, you can actually skip certain boss intros, but only in the English dub. Very weird. Very weird, but that's the reason why, obviously, we run OG Judgment in English, and obviously the earlier stuff is why we run Lost Judgment in English as well. That's not going to work. I'm going to wait for him to turn around, and then throw it. That's a little... that's pushing my luck just a little too much. Alright, so... If you're not aware, if you were here for the prologue early, we went into this building here. We're actually going to the tatami room where we found Kosuke earlier. And guess who we're going to find again? Old Kosuke is still here gambling away money that isn't his. Kosuke has not learnt his lesson. But RK is here, and we have a suspicion that Soma is going to be here. That's the entire reason why we're here. Unfortunately, Soma isn't going to be here. So, for this fight, we're going to start with, obviously, the big group of enemies behind us. Very nice. Hopefully the guy with the main HP bar in this fight gets close to us. Yeah. Wow, I could do leap. No, I could do this strat. Actually, yeah. So this is a bit of a slow heat move, but it's going to be able to get me to attack him earlier. Again, he's in his unvuln phase right now. That's the reason why I want to do this, to be able to attack him a little bit faster. Obviously, not the wall. That's his EX move, so most of the time with your charge attacks, you have a little bit of, not iframes to it, but hyper armor. If you can time that hyper armor right, you can actually go through most people's EX attacks. Reiko Kusumoto there, she doesn't want Kuana to be unfairly punished because of, obviously, what happened with Shinya Kawai. But there's a bit of a problem. Mitsuru Kusumoto has just woken up from his coma. And unfortunately, Bando is there. So Bando of Public Security is now going to start putting the real pressure onto Reiko Kusumoto, and this is going to make everybody start to go after Jin Kuana. So I'm going to hit the couch. There we go. And we're going to try and find Jin Kuana the next day. But of course, because Jin Kuana's gone underground, he's going to have made it a little bit trickier. So head back to Izazaki Jincho. Now this is the nice taxi. It's a very nice taxi, because as you've seen, whenever we come from Kamurocho to Ijincho, we always get put over at the train station. But here it actually brings us straight back to Yokohama 99. So do appreciate that. Thank you, video game. So, this is a time waiting segment with a difference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. 1, 1, 1. You're thinking of the last chapter again. Don't do that. So, the reason why we go to the Liumang area is because after this time waiting segment, we actually want to go to the Liumang area. So with this one and with the next time waiting segment, we really want to go to different places. So Kuana's not actually here at the Liumang area, Restaurant Row, but Tesso knows where he is. I missed the cutscene. That sucks. If you're to the left far enough, you actually get straight into that cutscene and you don't stagger at the bottom. It's my fault for not pushing myself up enough against the bin. This little outhouse here is actually used in Yakuza Like a Dragon speedrun. You buy a couple of attack upgrade equipment pieces in here. In this game, unfortunately, we don't get that choice, but instead we get a secret exit out of Restaurant Row via the sewers over to the other part of the city, over by the middle park. And we're just gonna call an Uber anyway. I don't know why I couldn't do that in the first place. We're gonna go up to Yui Mamiya's apartment, where Akaiki is gonna be waiting for us to take us to Kuana. Kuana's actually at the top part of the map, over at Hamakita Park, where there is a giant boat. If you've seen it Like a Dragon again, you'll have seen that boat. You'll have wondered why there wasn't a set piece on there. There is going to be a set piece on there now. Kuana likes this place because there's a lot of escape options. He can see people who are coming. We don't see Soma coming, who stabs Akaiki in the back. So, this fight is going to be a little tricky. We can lose a lot of time in this fight, not due to things in our own volition. It's down to Kuana whether we lose time in this fight or not. Kuana can take enemies all the way to the other end of the boat, which is, as you can probably guess, kind of frustrating. Now, the big problem is the main enemy here, Shimazaki. Shimazaki has a second phase. He starts off with a baseball bat. Unfortunately, his second phase, he gets a gun. And obviously, gun enemies can destroy you, especially boss enemies with guns. I'll do one quick little snake combo there. If I could juggle him. Nope. If I could juggle him, this would be great, because I do not want to deal with him. I really do not want to deal with him. Nice. So here's your juggle. So basically, as I said, you can change your combo style at any point. Did you? No, you did not take care of everyone, Kuana. almost. Oh, thank you for dropping your guard. Appreciate that. So you saw there a tiny little bit of it. You'll see a little bit more of it in the finale coming up here. But basically, at any point during your combo, you can change your style. You can change it back to any of the other styles at any point. You can basically go from Tiger to Crane, Tiger to Snake, or as I did there, Tiger to Tiger. So in this chapter, we're going to be getting a couple of move upgrades. At this point, basically, the end of the last chapter, Kuana gave us a pendant to give to Ihara. It's to help him in his conviction. We theorize that this pendant has something on it because Kuana basically feels at this point like everyone's closing in on him. Public security's closing in on him, Arcade's closing in on him, we're closing in on him. So he feels, we have the theory that he feels like he's about to get, you know, caught up. So we're going to carry on with the finale a little quickly here. We have to go prep for Ihara's appeal here in Kamurocho. And whilst we go and do that, Bobby, now is a wonderful time for donations.
Absolutely. We have $25.50 from Eldritch Quacken saying, can't wait to see The Lost Judgment with Froob and his commentary. Can we make that boss rush happen? And we have $50 from Syndrus that says, I absolutely love RGG games and love watching Froob run them, so we absolutely need to see more of this game. And we have $10 from Fanaronic that says, for a game I don't know anything about, I've been engrossed this whole time. Definitely going to want to see the boss rush. Good luck, Froob. 2 tickets to the $5 train, please. How are we doing on that? We're going to check. We have crossed the $33,000 barrier out of $100,000, and we have eclipsed the $1.19 million mark. So, Froob, let me ask you this. What are your thoughts on Bulbasaur? Because that may help us a little bit.
Am I allowed to air those thoughts? Bulbasaur's alright.
All right, so if you want him to apologize for that, we have to get up to $100,000 in a little bit. Don't worry, Froob, it'll make sense. I'll explain it later.
Oh, I know what happened with Shenanigans yesterday, but what? What I have to apologize for? He's all right. So, from the Ihara conversation, the big thing to glean away from it is that he still has the murder weapon. And interestingly enough, it's actually hidden in a really morbid place. Because everybody here went to go and see, no one knows where Kuana is. A couple of them went to go and see Ihara's wife. They lit some incense at their son's shrine. That's where the murder weapon's hidden. Ooh. Ooh. So, we're going to rest here overnight. We actually got a pop-up box just a little while ago back in Kamurocho saying that if we taxi over to Izizaki Jincho, then we are going to be in the point of no return. We're about to get one last point of no return mark here, and when you do this, this is where we're going to be locked into the finale. We've got about 20 minutes left of the run. So, I believe I'm good to go. Now, that pendant. Tsukumo figures out that that pendant is actually hiding a worm card, a write once, read many card, which basically means that whatever's recorded on it can't be falsified. Here's the thing. The thing on that worm card is Ihara killing Mikoshiba. All of a sudden, the murder footage is no longer falsified. It is actually something that we can use as evidence in court. Now, here's the bad part. Remember Akane from earlier? Surely she wouldn't do something stupid, right? Unfortunately, she was getting quite close to some arcade guys, and she mentioned Mamikota's name as well. So unfortunately, we're going to have to go and rescue them. We're going to start a big, long fight here. Now, you can actually tell how well you're doing at this fight coming up here, determined by basically what happens from Tsukumo, because it's not just the boys who are going to help us. Tsukumo's going to help us too. On the drone, he's going to launch a couple of smoke bombs. What we want to do is finish this fight before we manage to get any of the smoke bombs off. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of clever little tricks with Tiger and Crane in the hopes of getting the fight done before the first smoke bomb goes off, because the smoke bomb can actually keep the enemies in place, which can actually be a little bit of a problem. Also, I'll play Kaito. Got a lot of him. Sorry, I just love Kaito. He's amazing. You might recognize the guy in the orange there. Yes, he was the one on the construction building. Yes, we're going to be fighting him again. He's actually the big boss in this fight, which is kind of interesting. So he's the one I'm going to be focusing on first. Once again, we're going to try and get him into his second phase and work on everybody else after that. We're actually going to be doing a little bit of an upgrade. I'm not going to forget to get EX Burst Immortal, am I? We're going to be getting all of Crane's hidden arts. If we can dodge an attack at the right time with Crane, we can actually get an attack speed upgrade. We're going to be getting triple kick, because we're going to be using Crane in this chapter, and Rising Cloud Vortex, which allows us to get off the ground earlier. You might be wondering what EX Burst Immortal is. If I go into my EX, I can survive a hit. Yeah, actually not me into the air. I'm not happy about that. So, very important to get that before the finale, because again, everything that happens in this finale is going to dictate how we take this finale. Again, we don't want to be in low HP if we can help it, but low HP strats will make this much faster. One went off. It's a shame. But this fight should be over at this point. That's an okay fight. That's an average fight. It's not a bad fight. It's just an average fight. I had that guy, unfortunately, go away from me. Usually what you can do at the start is get him and the guy with the large HP bar at the same time, but unfortunately he moved away from me, and I didn't plan for that. Soma turns up. Soma does Soma things. that's pretty much the sum up for that. Soma does evil things. Soma pretty much confirms to us via us asking him. Oh, we're a lawyer now, by the way. Just phase shift 1 month later, we're a lawyer now. Soma confirms he is public security. So, the map. If ever you're confused about any piece of evidence to give over, it's the map. We have reason to doubt the victim's credibility. You're familiar with Jin Kuana. And then we get Deus Ex Machina phone call, much like the end of Judgment, and we throw it to him, and we won the court case. Congratulations, Ihara is going to be put away for murder. Congratulations, everybody. Literally in 5 minutes, or like literally in like 10, 15 minutes in 20 seconds. Good job. So, Kuana has gone to hide because Kuana has one rather piece of substantial evidence that can tie everybody to the murders of the bullies. He still has Shinya Kawai's body. We get that fact from Yui Mamiya earlier. This is the final set piece here in town. But one more after this. That's where the fun really begins. So we're going to try and start off by building up our EX on this first phase. There's going to be 3 waves of enemies. Nice start on that one. So again, if I get the opportunity to change to Crane, I will be. Nice start, very nice start. I'm actually going to stay a little further back at the start of this phase because it summons some enemies behind me, and I want to start on them first because they're really a pain to take care of. So get this. So the quick swapping of the styles actually, oh, that's unfortunate. Quick swapping of the styles actually allows us to get back into a neutral position a lot quicker, much like you can when you dash things. You're the one that I'd like to take care of. You don't need to take care of this guy to be able to progress this part, as you can see, but we are going to have to deal with him eventually. Now, everybody here is going to spawn ahead of me, so now I'm going to go into my EX. Preferably, I would ideally love to save some of my EX for the final set piece at the start of it, because the final set piece at the start of it is going to be a little tricky. So I'm going to probably manually cancel out of my EX at some point here. Actually, I think I can take care of this fight quick. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. 1 bar? Okay, 1 bar. That's good enough. So, we're going to get our final point of no return. We're going to get told basically, hey, this is it. You might want to stock up on healing items, because now we're going to go to the warehouse that is owned by Kuana's uncle, and we're going to go get Kuana. This is a 100-man battle. This is a remix of Destination from the first game. Absolutely fantastic. I am going to have to concentrate on this one because I am at 1-hit kill range right now. Please hit me again. Look, shame. I'm at 1-hit kill range right now, and there's a couple of enemies in here that are actually kind of nasty. The last one in particular actually gets a gun. So, Bobby, you've got about a minute or 2 for donations.
All right, well, I am going to start with the $50 donation from Bubblegum2 Love. It says, can't wait to hear Froob apologize about his lukewarm take about Bulbasaur. And $5 from Abscess Rex that donates $5 says, I cannot believe Froob just said that. He has to apologize to Bulbasaur immediately. Let's get the 100K. And we do have a $260 donation from the Archangels that says, Froob's Lost Judgment run and commentary has been excellent. Also, thanks to everyone at GDQ for all the amazing work y'all do every year. And $50 from Bombi that says, this new Ace Attorney game looks different. Yeah, it's like, you're pointing with your fist on this one, I'm guessing. So thank you so much for that. How are we doing? We are almost to $35,000 out of the $100,000 Gauntlet Boss Rush incentive and lukewarm Bulbasaur apology from Froob. So let's push for that. And also, we are at $1.193 million total for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. Let's get to 1.2 million very soon. Let's go ahead and do this. So go over to gamesdonequick.com/donate. Donate towards the Boss Rush incentive. We are so close to the end on that. And we do have a $500 donation from Verenithus Thrust. I apologize for mispronouncing that. I'll take 100 tickets to the $5 train. Screw cancer. Miss you, Mom. Thank you so much for that. $5 goes a long way, as does $500. The Prevent Cancer Foundation loves all of these. We also have...
I was going to say, you can keep going until I'm done with this, because this is not going well.
Okay. Well, we have a $250 donation from Wavefront. Says, hype for the Lost Judgment run. Good luck, Froob. And a $50 donation from Ravenite that says, go, Froob, go. Best of luck in the run. He needs it right now. He'll get it. He'll get it. I have faith in Froob. I have more faith in Froob than the faith Froob has in Bulbasaur. We have a $500 donation from Demogorian. I'm going to look at it first before I pronounce it. $500 that says, good luck with the run, Froob. And
I'm going to take this safe. Sorry, carry on. Sorry, I was just mattering to myself.
No, it's fine. And we do have a $250 donation from Biteman that has no comment. It actually doesn't have a comment. No comment. Thank you so much for that. And we have a $50 donation from Patzikin that says, hey, everyone, loving the run so far. I've been meaning to play the Yakuza series, and now I guess I have to add the spin-offs to the list, too. Speaking of things to do, did you know that you can get a free sub every month if you have Prime Gaming? That's right, and I do want to remind everybody that all revenue that Games Done Quick receives after taxes from subs and bits on the Twitch channel this month also gets donated to the Prevent Cancer Foundation. So all revenue after taxes that GDQ receives goes toward that, and it goes toward our amazing cause.
Yeah, thank you also very much. I played it very safe there. That was not a good fight, unfortunately. So you saw a little bit of the juggle there. I actually managed to get it off a little bit. And you can also see now that my attack speed, because I dodged with Crane, is actually way higher than it usually is. This combo actually is the combo you use in the original Judgment. I should be using this one. But because I have my damage buff and everyone's in a nice line ahead of me, I can just go absolutely crazy. So again, we just want to cancel out and just keep going as crazy as we can with our damage. He should get up in a little bit. Should go the other way, that's fine. But yeah, the HP that you have during all of this basically lasts until the end of the set piece. And because I'm in a marathon, I'm not gonna push my luck. The inside fight was a bit better than the outside fight. The outside fight, the last guy that comes in with 2 HP bars, he actually has a gun, and obviously that can pretty much almost kill you at full HP. He's the one that I was worried about the most. The position that he spawned in was so far away from me, I really wasn't happy about that. So I wanted to make sure that I played it safe, but funnily enough, at this HP value, I would have died to him anyway. So, oh well. Take care of you. Also, again, this is the juggle. So, as I said, you can just change your style at any point and just juggle enemies almost infinitely. You saw me do it a little bit outside as well. I'm actually glad I got to show it off, because, like, you don't get to do it that much. Snake style is also very good for taking care of enemies who are guarding a lot. I don't know why. Gosh, what did you do? So now we'll take care of that guy. I don't want to do a charge attack for the first attack, because that's going to knock him across the room, so I want to make sure that he stays close to me. Very nice. Good. Glad that he ran towards me. Full EX. That's going to be good. That's going to be very good coming up, actually. That's very nice. So, we have our last couple of action sections coming up. For this first one, we need to run forward here for a bit of speed tech, because we need to go look over here. Look at these barrels. We can feel the wind. There's a vent up there. We need to find a way up there, which is obviously these pipes. It always is. We're going to leave the gang here whilst we go up here and unlock the door for them. This is going to be our second and only our second lockpick of the entire game in the last one. We're going to run over here. Sometimes we get tutorialized on how to wall run again, because it's been so long since we did it the first time. Hopefully go to the right. Yep, good angle. You can actually get pushed to the left off those barrels, and you have to realign yourself entirely for this vent. So getting that angle is kind of nice. We have the falling animation here, which we can cancel out off with the button. Open the door, and the unlock part. So Let's rush over here, get the door unlocked. Tutorialize you again, because it's been since the start of the game. Again, the side content has way more of the... The side content has way more of like the lockpick stuff and like the tailing stuff and stuff like that. That's why I keep saying that the main story just wants you to play the game. Like there's very little downtime in this compared to the original Judgment. RGG took on a lot of really good constructive criticism, and Lost Judgment just wants you to play. It's good fun. You saw a little bit with the combat there. That's the kind of combat that you can see in the boss gauntlet and against like some of the hardest bosses in this game. Like you can basically just juggle almost infinitely. I'm going to try, depending on my HP, I'm going to have to potentially do juggle strats against the penultimate boss in this set piece, actually. For this fight, because I have a lot of EX, I can actually go ahead and do what I want to do early. We're going to get a damage buff against these guys, and I'm going to run to the back of the room. So, get a damage buff against you. I'm going to try and take care of you while I'm here. Run here, because this is going to cause more enemies to spawn in. If I can get up here, cancel out my own EX mode by falling down, and then just take care of everybody while it's still here. Taguchi should come out here. That guy takes a lot of damage, so to take care of him in one kick is really good. Hit you once, charge for this guy, very nice. Break your guard, charge for this guy. Hit you, because the other guy only has one hit. Good fight, very, very, very good fight. You see the Sugiyura up there starts throwing down grenades to try and help us. That doesn't help us. Thanks. So once we skip another piece of text, we can skip the rest of this cutscene. Yagami has Thunder Fires, because you can see that somehow breaks. I don't know how. It's how wooden pallets work in real life, I suppose. And we're going to look here. We're going to see that's the way up. We're going to look to the right. We're going to look at this bit here. This is obviously how we climb up. It's always this. So we're going to get into a big, long action section here. It's going to last about a minute or 2 minutes. If we mess up this action section, we're going to fall into a fight that has 2 enemies with 5 HP bars. I'm not going to do that, and there's actually no real danger of that happening, so whilst I'm just climbing again, Bobby, if you want to read off some donations now, it would be absolutely beautiful.
Absolutely. We have a $200 donation from King Duncan Gamer that says, always great to watch Froob, whether it be a marathon run or a casual stream. I sadly lost my mother 2 years ago due to cancer, so supporting causes such as this is always great, so others don't have to suffer the same. Donation goes toward the boss gauntlet and hopefully towards warding off those Dragon Engine shenanigans. And we have $50 from Droth the Destroyer saying, what a great day. Awful games, Castlevania, and now Froob? That's a hard day to top. Thanks to all the runners, commentators, and volunteers behind the scenes. And we have a $50 donation from Kirvik that says, both of my grandparents died of stomach cancer and my mother was early diagnosed of it, so I have been deeply affected by it. I want to thank all of the GDQ staff, the runners, and PCF for their amazing work this week. Also, great run from Froob. His explanations are amazing, and he seems to be a nice guy. Putting my money towards the boss rush, greetings from Spain, and sorry for my rusty English. Your English was amazing, and I am so sorry for your loss and everything affected by that. Thank you so much for your $50. How are we doing on that boss rush? We are over $35,000 toward the 100,000, and we are almost to 1.195 million overall.
We've got about 5 minutes of the run left, so good luck. Now, thankfully, our boy Kaito has found himself a forklift, because of course he has. This is how we're going to bust on into the last fight before the final set of fights. My HP is actually at a pretty good spot for where I would want it for a marathon run, because it allows me to do a little bit of crazy shenanigans coming up. So in this fight, this guy has the big HP bar. We're going to get him into his EX phase first, obviously. We're going to try and build up our EX in this fight as much as possible. I prefer 3 bars. I have a spare tower for marathon purposes, just in case I go back into low HP, because we will need EX Burst Immortals to survive the last few bosses. But we're going to take care of this guy right here. We're going to do this. Can I juggle? No, so you'll get to a point in the juggle where you can't actually juggle anymore, because the bosses are about to go into their second part. That's the part where you can't do it. You should go into it now. That will definitely get it. So I'm just going to work on everybody else in this time. Barrel guys have got to go. No, they can stun you. And that boy Kaito. Barrel guys have got to go. They are very frustrating in this bit. They are probably the scariest enemies on harder difficulties. Now we'll work on this guy. I'm going to cancel out my EX after this if this fight isn't over. unfortunate. I'm going to Snake Style you to break your guard. I do not like that. No, stop that. Low HP strats for Soma, huh? Ooh, glad I've been practicing this. So, the last... I don't have any EX, I'm going to have to use that Terran, aren't I? Yeah, marathon safety, I'm going to have to. So, the last part of this is a little bit of a boss rush. We have 2 bosses coming up. I accidentally said the name of one of them. It is going to be Soma. This is a 2-phase fight. The first phase, we're going to hopefully, because we have 2 bars of EX, I'm going to go straight into him with EX. I'm hopefully he's not going to guard and I'll have 1 bar of EX left after this fight, because that way I will be safe for the Soma fight. If not, I'll just have to use a quick item. Nice, just got 1 bar. Although actually the load after this might cause it to go down a little bit. I have to play safe, I'm going to have to use Towner. So, you can see Kuwana's here. He's actually here with the body of Shinya Kawai, which is rigged with a bomb. Because of course it is. We have to add a little bit more dramatic flair to our final scenes. And I did say earlier on, you were going to get to hear a little bit more of Viper. You're going to get to hear it in a little bit. Amazing, amazing fight theme. By the way, someone can one-hit kill me at this point. This is where things get fun. I'm glad that this is what usually happens in runs, because I'm used to having my HP this low at this point. So, here we go. Hey, make sure you stick around, because coming up after this is the KH2 Co-op Randomizer. It's going to be good fun. So, this is Soma. Because I have hopefully 1 bar of EX, I'm going to try and launch Soma. This is a bit risky, but if I'm in my EX, I shouldn't die. I do not have any EX because it did get rid of it. So I'm going to use my Town to give me 3 bars of EX. Now I'm going to launch Soma. Hopefully don't counter. Thank you. Now we joggle. Drop my combo. It's not good. Oh, Soma, you are causing me no end of pain again. Oh, I'm not risking it. No, I'm not risking it. I was hoping to do it with 1 town, but... Okay, so this is the fun part. You're going to do your mortal, which we're going to let go through. It's very, very, very lenient. You can see that I did more than a HP bar's worth of damage. I'm going to use my Stand XX, and I'm going to do the Warrior's Onslaught Extract. So unfortunately, this run is now over, because Soma is about to get absolutely bullied. Now, by using the Warrior's Onslaught Extract, after his EX phase, I did it a little later for marathon safety, because I didn't want to get hit by that. That's going to carry over until the final fight. Listen to this drop. This is why Viper is such a good theme. Clear horror tropes are so good. And with that, it's time for the final fight. With a very long wind up before it. And if you thought Viper was a good fight theme, listen to this build up. Clearly unskippable as well, by the way. Which, thank goodness, is great. Yeah, murder's bad, Kaito. I don't know why Kaito said that. So, this is the final fight done very, very quickly. We have the Warrior's Onslaught Extract on, which is going to make this fight a joke. We do have to be a little bit careful in this fight. Usually, again, we get hit with 1 HP, so Kwana melts more quicker. I'm going to have to stagger a couple of my hits. I'm going to go up to him, and hopefully he does. Yep, that attack. Beautiful. This should be the first phase. Remember when I said the Warrior's Onslaught Extract earlier was massively overpowered? Yeah. It's a little bit of a shame that the final boss comes down to press circle a lot, but the final boss comes down to press circle a lot. You get to see cool fight moves, though. I should probably pretend, you know, all of this is like, you know, pixel perfect movement. This is like me doing precisely RNG manipulation to make him be in the right place, and I'm just pressing circle. I'm just pressing circle. There's no dirty secret behind it. But this part there is. So he's going to go into his EX. I want to intentionally not hit him here. So let him go into his EX. Come on. Now I'm going to go into my EX for a little bit of extra damage. I interrupted his EX there, and time is coming up on the final QT press. You really had to get one last EX out, didn't you? Time's coming up, and now. It's a little bit of a shame. It's a little bit of an anticlimactic way to end the actual run, but the Warriors Onslaught Extract is just so obscenely overpowered that it just ends. It's just that. At least you get good music out of it. Ah, dearie me. But yeah, that's gonna do it for Lost Judgment. I guess I'll say my closing remarks. Once again, I would like to thank everybody involved with GDQ. I'd like to thank, obviously, the runners for putting on a great event. I'd like to thank the staff for everything that they've done behind the scenes. Shout outs to my tech staff earlier when we loaded up OBS and found that it had erased all of my settings. Shout outs to my Windows for also trying to update and break my audio drivers again. Appreciate you. I want to thank Bobby. Thank you very, very much for all of your great donation reading. I want to thank everybody who's obviously donated, anybody who's watching, anybody who's spreading the word of GDQ. The GDQ has been trend-setting for breaking records, and even if we didn't meet the boss gauntlet, I'm super proud of what we've done with this run, and I'm super proud of all of you and thankful that you would share all of your wonderful stories with us, and I'm super thankful you share your time with us. And please keep watching the marathon, because there are going to be some fantastic runs coming up next. Thank you all so very, very much.
All right. Well, I did just want to let everybody know that what we have done for the Prevent Cancer Foundation, we did raise $35,866 for the Prevent Cancer Foundation, and I know that they are going to be very excited with that money and all the other great things that we are raising for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. So pat yourself on the back, dearest Twitch chat. I do think that you are still, quote unquote, good. We do have a $50 donation from Balam Soldier saying, donating for such a great cause and that 2 million goal, splitting my donation between two incentives, which I shall put in a haiku. We need Lost Judgment. Also, we need Resident Evil. $5 hype train. What we have next, Resident Evil Village, the bonus game. We've raised about $64,000 out of $170,000. We've got the Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer race up next, and that's when we're going to raise that. But this is it for me. I am going to see you again on Saturday for Earthbound and Fallout New Vegas. I look forward to seeing you again on Saturday. Coming up next, Nuclear Reaction is going to be taking you through Kingdom Hearts 2. But before we get to that, we have an interview with the runners. So thank you so much. My name is Bobby Blackwolf. I'll be back on Saturday. And now let's hear from Kungfufruitcup and Kizaron with the Kingdom Hearts 2 runners.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Awesome Games Done Quick Online 2022. I am Kungfufruitcup, and it is my pleasure to introduce to you RoseCurel and Violin, who are here to be half of the Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer co-op race. How are the two of you doing today?
Fantastic.
I'm doing great. How are you?
Awesome. I'm good. I am very excited to talk to you both because, you know, obviously you are like the better team out of the two because the other two are what? Spike and Hobbs? I mean, come on. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all right. They're just all right.
They're okay.
So my first question to you is, like, why are you even bothering to run against these two? Like, I was totally memeing. The Hobbs and Spike know how much I love them. That's why I like.
No. Hobbs and Spike, please. They're not even gonna be. Come on, we're the better team. We already know this. All of us.
Perfect. Okay, so then in the spirit of that nature, let's talk about all of the things that you can do that's going to help guarantee your win. So, so I was curious to know, like, what has been maybe some of the most useful strategies that the two of you have come up with together, maybe in terms of the way you communicate together or the things that you're able to work back and forth to help you to gain an advantage?
I think we've been practicing super bosses a lot. I think that's our main advantage. When it comes to communication, we've been getting a lot better, but both of us tend to be a little bit forgetful, and it's really, really funny behind the scenes. So if you want to add on to that, Rose.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit. I would say that our routing together when we're like, okay, I'm gonna go do this really quick. What do you think you need to do? Like, we'll ask each other questions like, okay, this is my next stop. What's yours? Where are you gonna go after this? So then we don't like overlap too early. Because obviously with randomizer, you want to get as many things as possible before you really start delving into the worlds that your partner has already gone into. Unless you're looking for like specific abilities or magic or a form, then that's totally okay to go into their world super early and grab that.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. And so among these things that you want to look out for, what would you say is maybe like the most important things for you all to find first that you think helps you progress the fastest?
I'm going to say the most important thing right off the bat is movement. The faster we can move, the faster we'll get through the seed in general. And then a quick way to gain experience so we can boost our stats to get through everything faster. And then there's really good abilities like Finishing Plus is really good for a majority of the game. Stuff like Sliding Dash, Magnet Burst, just magic in general. Those are the main things we like to look out for. Dry forms as well are really nice, especially for late game.
I'm always looking out for like reflects. If I hear him say, "Oh, I found a reflect here," I'm like, "Okay, I'm finishing this world. I'm going straight there. I found this here, and if he wants it, then I tell him, hey, it's here in this specific chest." We're getting better at telling each other what chests to not grab and what chests to grab as well. And that's something that I think we had a little bit of trouble in the beginning, but now it's just gotten so much better.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm curious to know if you think there might be some, especially between your team and Spike and Hobbs' team, do you think there's anything that might come about that's like a game winning or game losing, maybe piece of RNG, or like how something might be placed randomly that could really help or hinder you? I know, maybe a hard question to ask. I'm just curious.
Hard one.
Yeah, I think a big like RNG moment is picking the right forms to grind and when we do that. Because we recently had a race with a different team where there was a check on limit form level 6, and we didn't get to that for a very long time. It was one of the last forms we leveled, and we lost by 10 minutes. So.
Wow. So I guess, yeah, I mean, this is really going to be a toss-up on who does what and how well you all do, because you two seem like you have a pretty good sense of communication now, and then obviously Hobbs and Spike have known each other forever, so, I mean, you could almost say they have a leg up in, like, their time knowing each other, but, like, I'm so curious and, like, so hopeful to see how you two do. I'm sure you're going to do amazing. Thank you both for talking with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. Yeah, thank you so much. We're excited.
Yeah, of course. I know. I'm so excited too. I can't wait to see, and I can't wait to see how you do. And you're both going to do amazing again. And I'm excited for your communication together. And best of luck to you too. So thank you again. I am Kungfufruitcup, and I'm sure I'll be speaking with you all soon. And I'm going to hand this on over to Keys whenever they're ready.
Thanks, Foo. I think. I'm not sure. Hello, AGDQ 2022 online. I'm Keysron, and I'm joined by my favorite person in this interview team, Fant, in production. I'm surrounded by idiots, actually. This direction, I think, is Hobbs, and this direction is Spike. I want to know nothing about the game, you two. I just want to know, what did you have for breakfast to prepare for this?
Oh my God. Probably like, I don't know, a burrito or something. I probably had a Kind bar, yep, and some coffee. So, that's going to be, breakfast champions right there. So we can take this rando championship belt from GDQ. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I want you two to know that despite everything that I publicly say, I'm actually rooting for you two. So I'm going to be incredibly pissed if you lose. But I need to know how you're going
He's
to
got
win.
money on it.
I've done some Kingdom Hearts 2 randos before. I get general gist of it, but this is on a completely different level, higher execution, higher knowledge. What even is the strategy, especially since it's team based? I guess start with Hobbs.
Yeah, so I think the big thing is Spike and I have to get everything right. We have to get every important check in the run for this. But our main goal is to route as efficiently as possible to cover as many checks per minute as we possibly can. It's kind of like our metric, I think, is what are our checks per minute? Are we always constantly trying to get new information first and foremost as fast as we can? But then we also have a very big emphasis on crossing paths, like following each other if there are things that will speed speed the rest of our searching up. So if we find like more movement tools like glide or quick runs or something like that, or we find safety tools like a second chance and once more abilities that let us survive deadly encounters, then we will follow for those things before we are maybe even if it's not technically quite as efficient, because it's like an insurance policy for us.
Yeah, it's super fun from a co-op standpoint, routing out something like this that, yes, it's different from your standard randomizer where you're trying to find all of the tools, but you're thinking, how am I going to apply this entire build I have, which might be, 2 tools, it might be 30 tools that we have access to for how we're going to handle this fight to not just get through it. Yes, you want to be able to survive it, but you also want to be able to clear all the enemies off the screen, defeat the boss as quickly as possible. Like Hobbs is saying, keeping that checks per minute up as much as possible. So in all of our practice, we've done dozens and dozens of practice seeds of this together, really figuring out, just because you can push through an area, push through a piece of combat, doesn't mean you always should. And I think we've done a really good job of applying where the best places are for different plays.
All right, lightning round, because we're going to wrap this up real quick. If there's one strategy that can be named after you in this game, Hobbs, you cheat because you have Hobbs slides and Crash. But if there's one strategy in these randos that can be named after you, what would it be? Go, Hobbs.
I'm blanking. Let's go to Spike first.
Spike.
The Berserker Spike. That's where I horizontal slash Roxas for 30 seconds, then he dies. It's great. Sure.
Okay, I got one. Okay, so the way I do core skip is I don't know of anybody else who does it that way, and it should technically be the fastest way to do it. So.
Okay, well, you both suck at answering these questions. We're done with this interview. I'm still rooting for you, but at the same time, Kung Fu, I'm sure your interview went better than this. So bye, GDQ. We'll see you later. Bye, everyone.
Hey, all you cool cats and gamers! Welcome back to AGDQ 2022 Online, powered by Twitch and benefiting the Prevent Cancer Foundation. I'm Nuclear_Reaction, and I will be your host for our next run, Kingdom Hearts 2 Randomizer. Reminder, after Kingdom Hearts 2 is that bonus game 5, Resident Evil Village. We have a little over 64,000 raised out of that 170 that we need to meet the incentive to unlock that bonus game. We'll have until the end of Kingdom Hearts 2 to meet that incentive, so make sure to get your donations in and put it towards unlocking Resident Evil Village. I know there's a special lady in that game that we all want to see. Before we start the run, though, we're going to be taking a quick break, so grab a snack, get comfy, and stay tuned for Kingdom Hearts 2 Randomizer.